All right, we live. Welcome back to Man Down Sports. As you can see from the thumbnail, we got to get into a conversation Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett had on their All the Smoke podcast. And it was pertaining to Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is getting a lot of pushback from the OGs of the NBA, man. And Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce is just the next people in line. It started with Isaiah Thomas. As soon as Anthony Edwards made that comment, Isaiah Thomas was just tweeting away, tweeting away, tweeting away. Then, of course, Stephen A. Smith had something to say. They talked about it. I really haven't heard what they said. I just saw a clip. I didn't click on it, though. So I don't know what Stephen A. Smith said. I think Shannon spoke on it. But you really want to hear from the OGs like this, man. I think even Magic Johnson spoke on it, and we're going to get into that, what he said right after we talk about Kevin Garnett and what he said, because what Kevin Garnett said was like a real ether bomb. Like he really laid the law down. And I mean, like I said, man, it's a fraternity, man. This basketball thing is a fraternity for them, right? So that's how they look at it. And sometimes people get out of line, they got to get checked. In any fraternity or any type of thing close to a fraternity, is always a hierarchy. And that hierarchy is really going to be based on tenure a lot of times, right? So, I mean, you got OG Hall of Famers, OG superstars, retired superstars, and all that stuff. And then you got these young bucks who ain't even 25 yet that feel the need to disrespect. Or you got people like JJ Redick that feel the need to disrespect, who wasn't even, the type of player on that, on that level where we can even consider him a Hall of Famer, right? So he's speaking about stuff like that. So all of that opens up the door for more disrespect. And it was, a lot of times it's in the name of either protecting this era or protecting a particular player that, that represent this era. I think that's what happens a lot. And then, even you give permission to people to disrespect your era when you got people like Isaiah Thomas going out of his way, trying to discredit and disrespect the Bulls and really Michael Jordan. Like Isaiah Thomas really is opening up this for a lot of other people to be disrespectful, because you got someone from your era that's just saying crazy stuff, right? So we're gonna get into it. Greg Anderson, what's up, big dog? Jeffrey in here. So we got a couple of moderators in here. I see Daniel Berry in here, Lil A. Everybody let me know where y'all coming from, and so I can see who in the house and see how many moderators I got. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're new here, make sure you hit that share button so we can get somebody in here, because this is going to be a good live. We're taking phone calls. We're going to slow cook this thing, man. It's going to be a pretty good one. Also, I want to shout out our members, because we got new members. And for real, I mean, I really appreciate the members, man, because on days where I want to be busy doing something else and, something like this come up, I feel like, man, it's people that are paid members that want to hear this and they want to talk about it. They want to call in. They want to comment on it, man. So, I feel obligated when I got so many people, deciding to be members for the channel, man. That's a real supportive thing to do. So I want to at least get y'all a shout out. That cool dude, 8897. He's a new member from last week. He just joined. Ida Tomlinson, she just joined as well. E. King, Steve Calbert, right hand cam, the Dakota 687, Ed Wild from Phils, Mikey Brass, Scott Merriweather, Unspoken Voices, Taco Master, 6'4 Slim, Keith Brazil, Savon Arnold, Ryan Walters, Chris Anderson, Beast Mode Bones, Jay Barrett, Evine Brown, Doug M, The Real Mr. Cropper, WW, Shay J, R Bean, Jeffrey Guile, Liquid Swords, Shy Rider, West Sider, A. Harkins, Michael Tafoya, Wizman Ballin, and Malachi Israel, man. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all, man. Y'all help me keep coming and dropping comment, man. So I appreciate all of that. Trina Lewis from Milwaukee. You look new. Are you subscribed? Miss Lewis from Milwaukee? Man, what's in Milwaukee other than the Bruins and warm beer? Is there anything else out there? Is anything else out there? No, I'm just messing with you, man. Yeah, but make sure you sub, man, because you look new. I don't think I seen you here for sure. All right, what's up? Asthma rolling. Shoo, man, that's a dope name. You got asthma and you be rolling. Interesting. In case you drop the mic. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get into it. I think we got enough people in here. We can get started, man. Like I said, shout out to the members, man. I appreciate all of y'all. So let's get into Kevin Garnett. This is kind of long. And before I even started, I want to say, so, Kevin Garnett used to speak his mind about LeBron and speak his mind about how soft the era was getting. All right. But there was a change in Kevin Garnett over the last year or two. Right. And I pointed it out when I heard about it. It was a shift where him and Paul Pierce all of a sudden went from critiquing LeBron so much to all of a sudden saying, hey, man, he might be the GOAT. Man, we ain't never seen nothing like this before, about, saying all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, it seemed realer when you were saying your truth versus what you're saying now. And what the shift was Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce just got into the media game. They got into the media game with their podcast they got. Now, Kevin Garnett done tried to get into the media game before, but it wasn't like the right fit. Like I think TNT tried to give him a show, that kind of crashed a little bit and all that stuff, man. And he was like really being himself, really being his authentic self. And I think it was just a little too hood for TV. But now that they got this podcast thing, and if you really go be in media, you have to know the ins and outs on the do's and don'ts and what, all that stuff, right? Because there's an obligation for the media to help grow the game, to help keep the game in check and all that stuff. Like they're supposed to be the scribes for what's going on now. All right, we're gonna show y'all something as a form of entertainment. And then for everyone who can't really fathom what they just watched, we got media members that can tell you what you just saw. Right? You might see a 40-point game, but if you're not a real basketball player, or you just watching for entertainment factor, you might be a female that never played, you go into the game, you can watch or you can listen to a commentator and the commentator would tell you, this is why this 40 points is a big deal. And be like, oh, okay, cool. Like the media have an obligation, right? So I caught some buzzwords that Garnett said in the past when he made that shift to being a media member, when he was like, man, look, we got to grow the game, right? We got to grow the game, right? So keep that in mind when you hear this. It's pretty long because he really went in. If you haven't heard it yet, I'm gonna stop it after Paul Pierce talk. I might say something, I'll play it again. I'll probably stop it throughout the Kevin Garnett talk every time he make a good point that I need to touch on. So here's what Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce was saying about the whole fiasco with Anthony Edwards coming out and saying that there was no skilled players in Jordan's era except for Michael Jordan.
Talking about the 90s. Because we the Kobe era.
He also prefaced by saying he didn't watch back then, and he's also 23 years old. So, like, you got to take that into account.
Man. I mean, this is one of the most skilled players to ever play the game. I mean, I think that was directed more toward the Jordan era. Because when I hear that and I really start thinking about it, I'm like, nah, that's not true, because you have multiple players who had hella skill. I'm talking about, come on now, that's pretty much doing the same things they's doing now. We had the guards who was going up doing the stuff, but we see D Rose and Ja Morant doing. I mean, I seen Baron Davis, Steve Francis, and Kevin Johnson doing all that type of stuff. I will say this. The skill level has gotten better with this generation, but I don't think overall it makes you a better player. I think the imagination and the flair of the game is not the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't play as much basketball as we did. They work out individually. We played 5-on-5, and our creativity for the game was a lot better in our era. Because, like, who's a showman? Who would you consider like a showman of today? Like Kyrie, maybe with the dribbles.
Yeah, and Ja.
high flying job.
I mean, when you said Kyrie, there was Rod Strickland.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, think about the creativity.
Never seen Vince Carter. I'm like,
exactly, like Vince Carter. We never seen nothing like that. That was something different. I mean, Magic Johnson, white chocolate. I mean, we don't see people passed away. J. Kidd did. Like, it's like unreal. Like, we don't see that type of creativity no more, you know?
So my question to you is, when you see youngsters go, man, I didn't watch, so I don't, is it important for youngsters?
Oh, it's going to go back to what we got to go back to Ticket's famous saying to me. You ain't watching the games, Lord. You ain't watching the games, Lord. You ain't going back watching the games, Lord.
If I'm being
So, all right. So Paul is still kind of tiptoeing a little bit because they've already, you know, we media, man, we got a job to do. We got an obligation. We're partners with the NBA. We can't be out here as media members who's supposed to be partners with the NBA going way opposite of the NBA because, you know, life and death lies in the power of the tongue. If someone on their level, Hall of Fame level, superstar status come out and start speaking against the NBA and saying that what we're witnessing now is trash and not a good product, then you can't be a partner of the NBA. You're going in the opposite direction. The NBA is trying to go this way, and you're saying, nah, y'all trash. You can't be in partnership with them, right? And I knew KG was compromised when he got that interview with Adam Silver. I was like, man, I said Adam Silver sat down with KG for an interview. Interesting, right? So that's when I knew KG was, oh man, he's really trying to buy into this whole thing. It's a lot of money in media, and the NBA is bringing a lot of money. Period. With this new TV deal they got. So you know the media members is like, man, I'm gonna ride that horse. I ride that train because there's money on that train, right? So Paul Pierce is still kind of tiptoeing. You're gonna hear KG next, and he's not gonna tiptoe. But what Paul Pierce and KG and what all the OGs of the NBA know, and what all the OG fans know, you know, the people who've been watching for a while, we know what the best kept secret is that these new fans don't really know. And it's that this version of the NBA is so watered down with the rule changes and with the emphasis on player movement and freedom of movement and all that stuff. It's so watered down that almost everything that happens on the offensive end has to have an asterisk by it. Like you can't be the commissioner and come out and admit that we watered down defense so we can see more offense and more points and more scoring and more highlights, and then tell me that the 30 that they score in 2024 is the same 30 that they scored in 1995. They're not. I mean, it's not the same. It's almost like the $2 now is not the same as $2 in 95. Gas, a gallon of gas now is not the same as a gallon of gas in 1995. Everything's different, right? So, yeah, 2 points ain't worth the same. 2 points is a lot cheaper and easier to, I mean, it's just ridiculous how easy they're making it in an offensive end. It's not the same, right? So he's trying not to come out and say that, and he's saying all this other stuff like, you know, we had skilled guys, white chocolate, and all these guys. But what he really wants to say is, look, every skill that we see them utilizing and displaying now is nothing new. The players had it then, 90s, and probably even in the 80s. We had players in the 80s that had it. We probably have more players now than in the 80s that have it, but that skill existed. There's nothing new that someone is doing. Euro step, we had people doing it in the 80s, right? Gervin did it, right? Step backs was already been done. Like, you know, you can't have the step backs that we were seeing in the 80s and 90s just turned into traveling step backs. I mean, it was legit step backs being that now the step backs are traveling. It's a triple step back. You know what I mean? But you can't, if you didn't see a regular step back, you wouldn't even have the creativity to even think of doing this step back, right? It's just the fact that they're allowing now. We wouldn't have never done nothing like that. There was no point. And then furthermore, there's more skills than just the stuff that you can work on in front of a cone with a trainer. Those are the skills they're talking about. They're like, oh man, you can see, if you see this dude come in and work out in the gym with his trainer in front of a cone with no defense, yeah, they're calling that skill, right? But those are things that you could have in your toolbox in the 90s or the 80s, and you couldn't use it because the way defense was played. If Derek Harper is picking me up 94 feet with his hand in my hip, where he can turn it and put it in my hip and just ride me all the way up the court, or when they changed it, when you can only do the forearm. Either way, you can still put that bar right there and dictate some things on defense, right? So there was no room for me to be able to turn and face and get into a bag. And for what? Most of the point guards was backing themselves all the way up court, getting into an offense, throwing the ball to the wing, and then you got a post player, Ewan, Barkley, Elijah Wan, Shaq, or a big guard like Kobe or Penny or Jordan posting up, calling for the ball. That initiated everything. Nobody was coming down and spreading the floor and saying, let me show all this stuff I've been working on with my trainer. That wasn't going on. As a matter of fact, I even show you. Rafer Alston is, Skip to My Lou for those who don't know Skip to My Lou or Rafer Alston. I remember I seen this game live. Milwaukee signed him. It was some of his first games. I don't know if this was his first game, but this is the first game I saw him play. And he got in doing a blowout. He didn't start. This was when Ray Allen and Big Dog Glenn Robinson and all them was on the squad. He got in and during the end of a game. The game was already decided. It was like 2 minutes left. And I'm going to show you how the NBA treated people who tried to get fancy. And we know Skip to My Lou is an N1 mixtape star. He was one of the best ones. So we know his handles was sick. Right? We already know that they banned Iverson's crossover, right? So how Iverson come over here and he's saucing everybody with the crossover, and the NBA was like, yeah, but this ain't street ball. So we go ban it, and you carrying, right? So we go ban your crossover because they didn't want it. They didn't want street ball. They didn't even want people wearing Timberlands and chains to the game. David Stern put them in suits because he didn't want to scare away his sponsors and the fans that might not like that style of play or that image. So anything that looked like street ball, he didn't want it. That's why he banned Iverson's crossover, and that's why the message was sent out. We're not gonna allow nobody to come do no street ball in our game. Look at what they did to Rafer Alston when he got in the game. He squared up. Now look at him. Now he going into his bag, and they called travel on him. All he was doing was putting the ball through his legs. That's all he was doing. Can you imagine? They called travel on him for trying to get into his bag because David Stern hated street ball that much, right? So the stuff that we're seeing people do now, people had that in their bag in the 90s. You just couldn't use it. You couldn't use it. They wouldn't let you use it. They didn't want you to use it. You get what I'm saying? They did not want you to use it. They didn't want their image, right? So let's get into what KG said.
Honest, bro, I don't think anybody in this generation could have played like 20 years ago, if I'm being 100. And this is to everybody in our league, Tatum, all y'all. Let me tell y'all something, bro. 20 years ago, bro, you couldn't get to a triple step back.
Nah.
You hear what I'm saying to you? You couldn't get to a triple step back. And then if you shot that shit, it had to go in. You know why? Because we had efficiency back in the day, my dude, and it was so fucking hard. It was too physical. And guess what? The league had to come off of it for the flow of movement to be able to have scoring go up, which is why we like to sit here and watch kind of the rat race of the high-paced game, right? But, bro, let's not talk about the gamemanship, and let's not talk about the physicality of the game back then. Real shit, because I only think half these kids in the league could have been on an NBA team 20 years ago.
Straight up.
The locker room was too grown.
You know what I watched too? You know what I watched?
Grown. It was too of them. It was too much of a fraternity. You know what I'm saying? Like, Yeah, man.
Just
Like
the hand check.
No, bro, it was a different vibration. David Stern did a great job of taking all of the physicality out of the game. You understand? Freedom of movement means freedom of movement. Man, back in the day when you had to get by Paul because Paul was squared up with you and ready to slide, and then he could body you, he could poke, he could use his hands, but I can use my hands.
I could fight through a screen.
Bro, the shit that we saw in the Olympics was similar style play when the guard can ride you damn near over the pick.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to get out of that, and a nigga like Holiday, when he come out and he get over, he there. Right. So if you go to cross him, bro, you don't even. That's what I'm saying, bro. Man, the levels in which you had to be not only strong enough but skilled enough to get by this nigga in front of you. You understand? And then they ain't never seen a 6'7" Rodman guard you. Bro, I see you. And you know, you in the scout report. We know you go left. We know you can finish right, but you go left to pull up. Bro, everybody knows. Bro, niggas watching the games back then. Them Isaiah Thomason and the Dumars, man. Dumars shut Jordan down. Bro, they was coming to the lane, bro. You might get your nose broke trying to dunk. You understand? Dwayne Wade broke Cole's nose in the All-Star game. Man, bro, it's just different. It was very different back then, bro.
All right, so let's touch on some of the stuff he said. He talked about the physicality. He talked about the fact that you couldn't even get to a triple step back then. And then if you just so happen to get away with it and do it, you better make the shot. It's a couple of things he's pointing out. Number one, coaches was no nonsense. Imagine 75, 85% of the coaches being as strict as a Greg Popovich, right? That's how they was. There was not, you could not be 7 foot and come down and jack up 3, 4, 5 threes a game. They was not allowing you to do that. There were a lot of 7-footers that could shoot the three. There were a lot of 6'11" guys that could shoot the three. You know, Rasheed Wallace could shoot the three. Garnett could shoot the three. He rarely did. We know Dirk could shoot the three, but Dirk had the green light. He could get it done. But there was a lot of big men. Sam Perkins could shoot the three. A lot of big men that could shoot the three. So that's not a new skill that we're seeing in our big men. The only difference is they weren't allowed to do it in the 90s because of coaching wouldn't allow it, right? We wanted our big men down low. And for those 3-point specialists that, I'm here to spread the floor and shoot threes like Mehmet Okur or Sam Perkins, they were bench players. Like the players that are all-stars now were bench players back then, because if you're a big man and you couldn't either defend at a high level in the post or score at a high level in the post, like you was either or both. So a person like Mutombo, he could defend at a very high level in the post, and then he can block shots weak side or whatever. He can rim protect and all that, right? He didn't have much of an offensive game, but he was a starting center. A player like Rick Smits was very, very good in the post with his post move. Kevin McHale, very good in the post. Olajuwon, of course, very good in the post. Patrick Ewing, all of that stuff, right? So you was either or. For those guys that were not good in the post, who got bullied and got pushed around, you could be on the squad, but you're on the bench. Mehmet Okur could shoot the lights out when he played for Detroit. He could not start over either of the Wallace brothers, Ben Wallace or Rasheed. Couldn't start. Mehmet Okur would be an all-star in this league right now. If Sabonis can be an all-star and he can't even do nothing outside of the 3 feet of the paint. Like the game plan for the Warriors was to back off Sabonis and just give him like Draymond Green was just waving him off. Took his soul took his heart out of his chest. Just shoot the jumper. We letting you have it. You get what I'm saying? So, but he's an all-star and he's one of the best bigs we got. After Jokic and Embiid, it's really Gobert and Sabonis. And them the only bigs we got. And they can't go down in the post and get points like they want to. Gobert can't, neither can Sabonis. We got two centers. They got the skill in the post to actually be dangerous. So everybody else are screen setters. Like we probably could get some post work out of Andre Drummond, but he can't even start in this league. He just gets in the game to rebound and set screens. So we're talking about it's more skilled now, but what really is going on is they traded their post skills and it was like, we ain't gonna work on the post no more because big men don't nobody post up no more. We just 5 men out playing elementary playground basketball, right? So forget the post game. All the centers, hey, look, we just go set screens and catch lobs. The ball is gonna stay in the point guard's hand all the time, or whoever your best player is that handles the ball, he's gonna have the ball all the time. It's gonna be 3 shooters, 2 in the corner, 1 on the wing. And then the only big man on the court is all these there to set screens and rim run. And that's what the game has been reduced to. Everyone is doing the same thing. Spread the floor, get the ball to your best player, high screen and roll, and off their screen and roll action, wherever the double comes from is where the ball is going. If the double comes from the corner and they rotate, that's why I'm making the pass to in the corner 3. If the double come from the arc, I'm going there. If the double don't come, then my best player go get a layup. If they try to switch, you know what I mean, and there's no double, they just switch. Now, I got 2 options. If the switch ain't good enough, and I can still get that lob to my big man, I get that lob. But if they switch and I don't have a path to the rim, then now my big man just takes and picture this. Picture has been a 7-footer. Imagine being Hakeem Olajuwon setting a screen for Luka Doncic, right? And they switch, and then he don't get a path to the rim, and you don't get the roll option to get the lob. And then instead of you saying, "Oh, I got a guard on me," they switch, so I got a guard on me. Give it to me in the post. That's not what they do in this league now. When they switch and they got that guard on the 7-footer, the 7-footer goes off to the corner. So the best player can go one-on-one with the 7-footer that's guarding him. I'm like, man, this is some backward stuff, man. So what Garnett is explaining is coaching was different. The league itself wanted a different feel, so they wasn't gonna let you come out here and dance. I just showed you that with Rafer. They wasn't gonna let you come out here and showboat and dance. Crossovers getting banned. You know, they wasn't letting you travel and do all this stuff. And like I said, coaches was just not gonna let you do it. And then the physicality was so crazy, you wouldn't even be able to do all of that stuff. So the bag was there. You could see it at like Rucker Park and all that stuff. All those players had it, but you just couldn't use it in this game. It wasn't a Harlem Globetrotter league. It wasn't a clown league. It's a clown league now just for entertainment.
Real shit. I'm talking about in the locker room. You can't be on your phone in the locker room. Can't. Bro, 20 years ago? Nah, nobody in this era could have played 25 years ago. We said that. And I'm talking about not just the play and all the skill that everybody got, actually was called bad shots and lack of efficiency. It was until they started fucking with all the data and saying take more 3s than 2s. Before then, we played ball, bro. We didn't give a fuck about all that other shit. And the GM couldn't come down and say, put into a game plan with a coach like Doc or then Tony talking about we trying to get touches and touch the paint. Bro, I didn't see.
Yeah, it's hard to say more skill.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Nobody in this era has a mid-range.
You couldn't get nobody.
Nobody in this era has a post game.
And the ones that do look amazing. Look at Shea. Shea got a mid-range.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
it's only like a few of them got.
That's what I'm saying, bro. 2 dribble pull up.
Yeah, they don't
try to do it. Okay, young fella, if you hear me, and then y'all exhaust the ball. Y'all are dribbling the air out of the ball.
Right.
Y'all dribble the ball 100 times more than another nigga.
Right.
Catch it off the bounce. 1 dribble, 2 dribble, pull up. Let me see you do that off the bounce.
Right.
Let me see your skill work off that. I ain't even known it like this, but bro, you can't come from niggas and not expect a rebuttal on shit. Bro, real shit, it was totally different. And you had to have that work, and you had to really work on your shit. And it wasn't no, you was out 2-3 games, man. Your teammates, hey, bro, what you doing tonight? You going? Nah, I can't go, man. My toenail off, man. I can't. Nah, bro, you can't even come in here and lead no niggas like that. You hear me?
Nah.
So you had to strap it up, and you had to get out here. You had to dive on the floor. You had to get in the rumble. Yeah.
Right.
Real shit. You had, man, it was men leading men. Yeah, ain't none of these niggas been in no lockout. And Anthony Edwards don't know what's going on with the league policy. This, bro, you understand what I'm talking about? The leader, bro. Man, I can't even have this conversation.
You can't even say it if you ain't watched.
It ain't the same. It ain't the same.
Like,
Then
don't
you say I didn't
that,
watch.
and that don't say you didn't
Oh man,
watch.
Jordan, the only one has skill. Yeah, I know you didn't watch the game.
I know you.
But
didn't
him saying
watch.
that.
Yeah,
So
you can't say
you
that.
know what?
And then
Respect
say
to
you
the
don't
young
watch.
fella, man. I don't get on here, and we don't use this platform to douse anything. But I'm not gonna start
Yeah,
the
you gotta-
cooning. I'm here to elevate the game. I'm here to help the young players elevate themselves. But
Yeah,
it's
you gotta
always
say.
different eras. And when you hear Michael Jordan and some of the greats talk about the different eras of play, the 80s was different from the 70s, the 70s was different from the 60s, the 60s was different from the 50s. But in all of it, it had gamemanship, it had aggressiveness, and it had stuff that came with it that you didn't really hear about that you hear now. Man, shit.
Yeah.
I like when he said, I don't want to use this platform to really come down on the players, because he said he here to elevate. That's what I was getting to at the beginning of this stream, where I was saying KG and Paul George is learning the content creation game, and they're learning the media game. And when you're in the media, you're a partnership with the NBA. You can't be a media member and bite the hand that feeds you, because what happens in the league is the content that we use or the things that we use to create content or create what we talk about in the media or write articles, or we need each other, right? Or the media definitely need the NBA, right? So you can't speak against the NBA in a way where it's going to hurt or go be a detriment to them. So it'll behoove a person in the media to not speak on how lame the league is and how bad it is. So that's what KG has been doing for like the last year or two, right? Here is when he got an interview with Stephen A. Smith. Listen to how he spoke about this. This is him, coming to the media and saying, and kind of changing his tone a little bit.
Played against, bro. I'll let it go. It ain't personal with me no more. I'm watching as a fan, and I'm giving flowers, and I'm looking at it from a different perspective.
He said, and he talking about LeBron. He said, with me, I played against bro, but to me, it's not personal no more. I'm watching as a fan, right? I'm still watching this guy play at 38, 39. I'm watching as a fan, and I'm coming at it from a different perspective. The perspective he's coming at it from is, I'm a media member now. And unfortunately, or not unfortunately, maybe fortunately, I got to speak well of the guys who's carrying the league, and I got to speak well of the league, right? I can critique it and criticize it, but not in a way where it's going to be a detriment to the league, right? So that's the perspective he's coming from. That's why I kind of you don't hear him say things like he's saying now that often, but he had to, because Anthony Edwards went too freaking far. I'm gonna play it again.
Played against, bro. I'll let it go. It ain't personal with me no more. I'm watching as a fan, and I'm giving flowers, and I'm looking at it from a different perspective of things that I've never seen in the game, Steve. Mm-hmm. Like, I ain't seen some of the stuff we're talking about. Bro, it's all new to the game. We ain't never seen a 39-year-old. Bro, you know what 39 feel like. You know what 39 feel like, bro. Yeah. 39, bro. Ron got to be on some goddamn stuff that ain't came out yet, bro.
I don't know what the hell's up.
Bro, so that's what the game is. Like, if Adam Silver sit you down, and I know that interview that he had with Adam Silver, this was a face-to-face interview. This wasn't like no Skype or nothing like that. This was a face-to-face interview. So that conversation was being had before and after the recording, right? And as a commissioner, I got to tell people, like, look, you in the media now. This is how you can help the league. This is how we make money. And you got to think about it. He's a retired player. He's getting a pension from the NBA, right? The more you boost the NBA up, the more money they can grab, which helps out the guys that's still making money from the NBA. I get a pension from the NBA. I got a disability plan with the NBA, right? That's how that jump work, right? You can't speak so they can get less money. So you have to push this thing out here. Look, we got all these new fans and stuff like that. We might not like this, but the new fans love it. So as a responsible media member, I got to speak a certain way about this product because we selling it to them. And Adam Silver got to go and sit down with these execs and sell it to them for TV deals and contracts, things of that nature. So they stuck between the rock and the hard place. It's like, well, shoot, I mean, I can't bite the hand that feed. I got to feed the machine. We got to sell that product. I don't like the product. I don't agree with it. But hey, at the end of the day, pockets, man, money. So that's why he's changed his tune, right? That's why he's changed his tune. So, but yeah, when, in an instance like this, man, you gotta, as a big brother in the fraternity, you gotta check the little brother, put him back in his place. That's what they're doing with Anthony Edwards, man. And now their era is getting attacked, right? So look, man, I'm in the media now. I got to speak well of y'all, but y'all throwing shots at us, and then you ill informed on it. You don't even know what you're talking about. You admitted that you didn't even watch us. You didn't even watch Jordan's era, and then you comment on somebody that wasn't nobody skilled, right? So yeah, you gotta check the little bro and let him know what it is, man. But I can't stress enough the physicality, man. Like the skill that you think that the 90s didn't have was just skills they just didn't use. They had it. It was just like it's pointless for us to get 2 points against physical defense. This jump that y'all doing now wouldn't fly then. We just couldn't do it. You know, it wouldn't have been worth it to try to do it. You just got to get your bag, and the skill that they lost other than the post skill is the off ball skill, because the people who got the ball are the best players. They're getting high screening rolls and they dictating everything. The big men, only thing they got to do is set screens and roll, catch lobs, unless they're a big man they can shoot, so he might pick and pop and catch and shoot. The other guys that's off the ball, most of them are just catch and shoot players. So it's only one guy that gets to get in his bag. And then maybe if you got 2 wing players like Luka and Kyrie, you got 2 guys that can get in their bag, but they both running the same high screening roll offense. Everyone else is catching and shooting. And then you got one guy that's picking and popping or picking and rolling. That's the whole offense. Not we got the Bulls running the triangle. We got Pop, running a flex, but also he going in the post to David Robinson and Tim Duncan. You got some type of Princeton offense in Sacramento with Rick Adelman and Vlade Divac and Weber, where they do a lot of high posts, and they use their bigs to pass, and a lot of backdoor, a lot of ball movement, off ball screens and stuff like that. Like everyone had a different set of offenses they ran. Utah Jazz, they was probably the only ones that was really utilizing high pick and roll with Karl Malone and Stockton, but you also went in the post of Karl Malone, right? Then you also ran Hornacek off of screens as well. You know what I mean? You had Reggie Miller. They're going to post to Rich Smits, but Reggie Miller was running constantly off screens, double screens. You had the Davis boys setting screens for him, double screens. Like you had to run. Like if you had to guard Reggie Miller, you had to run for 4 quarters because he was in hell of a shape. You had to run and chase him for 4 quarters. And not only do you have to chase him, you was going to have to go through 2 or 3 screens each possessions. And they had big dudes. They was getting big dudes on purpose because they knew they was going to be running screens for Reggie Miller. So if Rick Smits wasn't hitting you at 7'4" as a center, and then you got Dale Davis at 6'11", huge. I mean, this dude used to guard Shaq. You got Dale Davis at 6'11". Then you got Antonio Davis coming off the bench at 6'9". He was huge like Charles Oakley. And then a small forward was Aaron McKee. He was 6'11". Not Aaron McKee, but Derek McKee, 6'11". I mean, they had some huge centers and forwards. And then they came off the bench with Sam Perkins. So Reggie Miller would run off those screens, and you got to, your body, you sore after the game. You got to run through all of that. And then your legs, you chasing Reggie Miller. So everybody had a different offense. It's not like that now. Rip Hamilton, same thing. Detroit imagine Detroit having Rip Hamilton doing what Reggie was doing, but they also had a post player in Rasheed Wallace who was top 5 in the post. And then they had a star point guard who was Mr. Big Shot. Like Detroit was, and then the defense was crazy. Detroit was something, right? So, but you don't see that. You don't see nobody running off screens no more. Who do I see running off screens other than Steph Curry? Steph Curry, maybe Clay a little bit, but other than that, who else running off screens? Everybody else is just standing there waiting on a play to be made for them. It's ridiculous. But so many different offenses. But here, everyone Get the ball to your best player, spread the floor, high screen and roll. Let's get in. Let's get into action. It's disgusting.
Half these motherfuckers can't even be in the locker room. Half these niggas coming from no parents.
Shout out to Dreamers Pro, man. Appreciate you, bro.
And one mom and all, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these niggas got their mom and dad, and a lot of these niggas ain't even outside, my nigga. I'm really from the park, man. I'm really from Basswood. I really did play at Springfield Park. You know what I'm saying? Cleveland Park, all the parks. Right. I really was at Argyle. Right. I really was on 16th. I really was hanging out on Ridgeway. Like I'm saying that to say that, yeah. Like, man, it was different times. So when I hear these things, they don't add up because it was a different time of how you played, bro. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then there was a lot of two-way players back then that was real niggas.
Two-way players, yeah.
I'm talking about stars. I'm talking about Gary Payton, the Jason Kidds, the Michael Jordans, the Grant Hills, the McGrady's and the Cobes, you know what I'm saying? The TDs, the C. Webbs, the Rasheeds,
He must have been talking about like the 60s.
Lord, he feeling himself, and I like that. I like that he feels good, but when you're a savant and you're talking to the league and you spitting different shit, you got to know what you're talking about to be in the argument or to be in the discussion of what we're talking about. Right. But to say that they're most skilled, shit, 20 years, you couldn't get to a triple step back. All that shit, James Harden and all that shit. And then, too, if you was dribbling the air of the ball, bro, nigga told you straight up, hey, man,
come on, man.
Swing it, man. What you doing?
What you doing?
Five more dribbles, you out here? Hold on, I got it. Back it up.
Don't miss.
And then we had plays that you had to remember. And if you couldn't remember the plays, you couldn't be out here. It wasn't all this switching shit. You had actually strategy to where the strategy had to go to 2, 5, 2 and 4, y'all 3 and 4, y'all doing this. You had a list of shit that you had to be responsible for.
Sure that.
Not some, I didn't forget. And you know what? Fuck it, just throw him out there because he's good. Nah, bro, there's a whole nother level of shit. So you know what you're speaking about. But yeah, I root for you, young fella. Just know what you're talking about, young fella. Yeah, that you said don't make no sense.
It don't make no sense. So, and hey, real quick, it looked like a lot of y'all already are familiar with Dreamers Pro, and his channel is super huge, man. He's like the Jordan of this thing. Him and Ticket TV. I guess I'd be like the little bro of Jordan, or you know what I mean. So, but if y'all not subscribed to them over at Dreamers Pro, man, make sure y'all go over and subscribe to them. But I think most of y'all are. So, but I did just want to say that, man, because he shouts me out a lot of times, and I definitely appreciate that, man. So I wanted to return the favor. But make sure y'all go give him a sub if y'all not familiar with them. But KG is right. So I'm gonna say a couple of things. I got one more clip I wanted to play. Then I open the phone lines up. I want to hear from y'all, right? Number one, he's right. The physicality makes things so much different. Ant-Man don't really know what he's talking about. He's uninformed, and anybody who agrees with it, or anybody like JJ Reddick who might be saying asinine things like that as well. Like, I mean, it's got to stop, man. And like I said, the best kept secret is everyone knows that this era is watered down. Everyone knows it's not as good, it's not as pure as what we had in the 90s. I think the 90s might be the best golden age of, from like the 90s on to like the 2010 era. I think we had 20 years of the golden age of the NBA. And then they started making rules and diluting it, right? They started adding a little bit, too much water in the wine. Right, so we got a diluted product. It don't get you drunk as much, right? But we got to pretend like it does. Like, we got to pretend like it does, and that's what KG was doing so long. And he was like, "I can't do it no more. I got to speak the truth right now." Right? He'll go back to capping after that, but he got to speak the truth right now because, Anthony Edwards needed to be spanked, right? For the growth of the league, you got to cap a little bit, right? The things that impress people the most with this era is they claim that they have more athletes, they're more athletic, and it's just not really true, right? We had people jumping out of the gym in the 90s. We had Steve Francis, we had Robert Pack, we had Jordan, we had Wilkins, we had Stansberry, we had Sean Kemp, we had Larry Nance, right? We had Spud Webb. Like, we had a lot of people jumping out of the gym. So the athlete thing You know, I don't think there's no verticals that's higher now than it was in the 90s at all. Right. So the athlete thing is not even real. What I think is real is that the great athletes that was only great athletes, but didn't have the game, like the skill level that Reggie Miller had. He wasn't a great athlete, but him running off screens and being able to shoot and being able to move without the ball and being able to post and that, you know, all that stuff, and then being competitive enough to try to D a person up like Michael Jordan. Like, he didn't back down for no assignments. Right, the way Sprewell played, the way Allen Houston played, the way Mitch Richmond played, they knew how to play with and without the ball. They knew how to play in the post. They knew how to play in the mid range. They knew how to play on the perimeter, and then they knew how to defend their position. At the very least, they can defend their position very well. Right, defend your position. That's the number one thing. Now we got point guards that can't guard point guards. We got Luka, who's listed as a point guard, but he can't guard point guards, which makes it weird because you got to put a real point guard on your starting lineup to guard point guards for Luka, except he can't play point guard on offense. He got to play two guard on offense. And guess what option you lose when you got a two guard that's smaller than your point guard? That two guard can't post up. So you got Kyrie Irving or Jalen Brunson at a catch and shoot situation playing beside Luka. We didn't even know how good Jalen Brunson was playing beside Luka, and he goes to New York and looks like an all-star. And then we got an all-star in Kyrie Irving going to Dallas, and then he didn't make all-star this year. And he played enough games to make all-star, and he didn't even make it. So I'm like, okay, so Brunson looked average with Luka, and then he looks like a superhero in New York, and then Kyrie leaves Brooklyn and comes to Dallas, and then he don't make all-star. And then people saying he choked in the finals. But you got this 6'1" dude playing shooting guard in a catch and shoot situation, and then he get when Luka say, okay, I'm tired, it's your turn to run high screen and roll. That's their offense. Luka run high screen and roll, and then, okay, you know what? It's Kyrie's turn to do something because he ain't touched the ball in a while. So I'm going to just go stand over here in the corner. I'm not going to post up. I'm not going to set no screen. I'm not going to move without the ball. I'm not going to do none of that. I'm just going to stand in the corner and then give Kyrie an opportunity to go one-on-one. That's Dallas's offense. And you want me to believe that Luka is more skilled than Jordan, or more skilled than Dirk, or more skilled than Van Horn, or more skilled than Reggie Miller? No, he's not. He's not. He's a one-on-one player, but moving without the ball is not something that he does well. But, you know, so that skill is lacking, right? Moving without the ball is lacking. Mid-range post up is lacking. So the athletes, I mean, we had athletes on the bench. I mean, like people that's as athletic as Russell Westbrook but couldn't shoot, we'll put him on the bench, right? We had Robert Pack playing behind Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf in Denver. But a Robert Pack now, the fact that that dude can run and jump and dunk like that, Robert Pack would be a starter in this league. Robert Pack was jumping out of the gym. He couldn't get in front of Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf because Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf knew how to run an offense and he could shoot. Right? Gerald Wilkins, great athlete. Dominique Wilkins' little brother, great athlete. But on Cleveland, he didn't play in front of Ron Harper or Mark Price. Mark Price was that dude. And don't get me on the shooting. So we're talking about athletes. Athletes was on the bench because if you couldn't play and you couldn't defend well and you couldn't score and you couldn't move without the ball, we'll use you, but you coming off the bench as a specialist, defensive specialist. We'll use you, but you're not starting, right? So that's what athletes was. But athletes in this era, the paint is wide open, and we need athletes because if you can beat somebody to the rim off the dribble, that's great. So you got dudes that's just fast and can jump high coming into the league, going straight to the starting lineup and going straight to the All-Star game just off speed and athleticism and leaping ability. Not better than Mark Price or Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf at all. Not even better than Jeff Hornacek. don't even know how to play the game. They can just run and jump. I mean, shoot, they drafted Kid Gilchrist in the lottery for running and jumping. Gerald Henderson in the lottery, running and jumping. Like, you don't need real skill in this league. Westbrook running and jumping. That's all they're doing, running and jumping. So then you go to the shooters. They claim that the shooters are the best we've ever seen now. Steph is the best shooter ever, right? Last I checked, 50-40-90 was something that Larry Bird did. 50-40-90 is something Mark Price did. 50-40-90 is something Reggie Miller did. And 50-40-90 is something Steph and Kyrie Irving did. So if Steph is the best shooter of this generation and 50-40-90 is his greatest achievement as a shooter, right? Other than how many threes he made, right? But 50-40-90, if the skill was better now, why don't the percentages go up for threes? Like, normal 3-point shooters is between, average is 34%, really good is 41%. Steph is in there. If the skill was better, shouldn't Steph be shooting 50%, 60%? Instead of him being 50-40-90 like Larry Bird was, shouldn't he be 60, 50, 95? Like, the percentages are not going up. And this is with no defense. This is with them taking defense out. We taking defense out and you still doing 50-40-90 and 30 points. Like, 30 points is like, this is something Jordan and Bird was doing against real defense. Now against no defense, y'all still getting 30. Y'all still getting the stuff that we was getting in the 80s and 90s. But y'all telling me it's better? More skill? No, I don't think it's more skill. If it was more skill, the percentages would match. This is the last thing I say, then I open the phone lines up. This is Adam Silver, and I've played this before, but this is Adam Silver telling you what he did, and this is his sit down with Kevin Garnett.
Will there ever be a time where the hand check comes back?
There was a point, I believe, probably in around the late 90s when the game became too physical. And I think we lost some of
for our viewers, you mean?
Yeah, and I think for our fans.
I like when he asked him, he said, is there ever a time where the hand check will come back? Because he's asking, like, man, look, man, we thirsting for some real basketball. Will you think you ever bring the hand check back? This is David Stern and Adam Silver. They started to take it out, legislate that out of the league, right? And he said, man, in the 90s, Adam Silver said it was a time in the 90s where I think the physicality was too much. And Kevin Garnett said, for the fans? Because he's saying, look, I played in the 90s. The physicality, I was okay with it. I loved that part because he was one of the bullies. He was one of the ones that would get a Darko Milicic or Mehmet Okur or Dirk coming in on the European League and being in his head like, oh, your mama, but he was one of them dudes. So he ain't had no problem with the physicality, right? He's going to tell you who had the problem with the physicality. But Garnett was like, hold on. He asked him, he was like, wait. For the fans? Like the physicality was too much for who? The fans? And Adam Silver was like, well, the fans and some of the players. Because KG was like, hey, it wasn't me. I was fine with the physicality, right? So listen to it.
Will there ever be a time where the hand check comes back?
There was a point, I believe, probably in around the late 90s when the game became too physical. And I think we lost some of
for our viewers, you mean?
Yeah, and I think for our fans, from the aesthetic enjoyment of the game, where it de-emphasized the particular skill a player had and maybe weighted too heavily physicality, where a big, strong player could come in and prevent a incredibly skilled player from doing those kinds of things. I think of, not that he's a small guy, but a smaller player like Steph Curry can do on the floor. I think that his ability to shoot, his ability to move through the paint, that if guys could just bang him and knock him to the ground, as that was once the case in the league, right, I don't think that would be a better brand of basketball.
So basically, he just said everything I've been saying this whole string. He said that aesthetically and pleasing to the eye to the fans and more entertaining, he said that a physical league is not what they want to see. And he said he don't think that'll be the best brand of basketball to see a guy that can use his physicality to affect a skilled player that's a little smaller like Steph. And I'm asking myself, if my advantage, if I'm a well-built person, taller, bigger, stronger, and my advantage is obviously strength and size and physicality, and then Steph's advantage is quickness and skill. When you put those together, if I can use my physicality and he try to use his skill, we just made the best man win, correct? What he was saying that if we allow physicality in the league, then the physical guy would have an advantage over the smaller guy, and I would be able to push him around. And he said he didn't feel like that's a good brand of basketball. So what he was saying is that I changed the rules so that the advantage would go to the skill guy. You can't touch him. So now his skill, I'm a big physical guy. If I can't put my hands on you and touch you and affect you that way, then now I got to try to guard you with speed and quickness, which I don't have. So now you put me at a disadvantage because you want the world to see how skilled Steph is, which is what I was saying earlier. When the physicality was tough in the 90s, you could be as skilled as Steph like Mark Price was, but the world would never see it because the way you have to play against physicality is you got to come up the court with your back turned, zigzagging all the way, and then get the ball in the post, because the ball got to go to a 7 foot in the post, because if I kept it too long with that type of pressure and that type of physicality, I might cough it up. I got to get the ball out of my hand and then run around some screens. That's what Reggie Miller was doing. Reggie could have just came up with the ball and tried to go one-on-one, but why do that when I got a 6'11 guy, a 6'11 guy, and a 7 footer setting screens for me? I can just run off those screens. Whoever guard me, you better be in shape, because my advantage is me running off these screens, right? But that's also Steph's advantage. But now he's got another advantage, because when he has the ball, he's still got an advantage because you can't touch him. If you're physical and you're big, you can't touch him. So Steph got an advantage all game long. The defense is at a disadvantage, right? If you bring physicality back, Steph would have to have the ball a little bit less, and he would have to play more like Reggie Miller, because when that pressure get on you, you need a bigger guard. That's why Phil Jackson in the 90s, like he loved when he had got that lineup of Ron Harper and Jordan in the backcourt, because it works on both ends of the floor. You got 2 6'6" guys who like playing defense, who got long arms in the passing lane, and they can get physical on the ball and on the dribble. They got them playing defense. And then if you try to do it to them, I don't have a small John Paxson or Steve Kerr trying to handle the ball. I got a 6'6" guy in Harper, Jordan, or a 6'7" guy in Scottie Pippen handling the ball, and you can't push them off their path too easy, right? So when and I think he's saying that when they got put out, when Jordan first came back and they got put out by Orlando, and they had 6'7" Penny at the point guard, 6'6" Nick Anderson, and 6'6" Dennis Scott at the 3, right? So they had their wing players was long, and they all could, well, at least Penny could defend and Nick Anderson could defend. D Scott was more just a shooter, right? But yeah, Phil Jackson liked that Ron Harper and that Jordan. You're gonna need that in a league if it's physical, right? And then what ends up happening is these guys is like who they got starting at point guard sometime. I mean, these little guys, yeah, you got to come off the bench, big dog. I can't use you like that. Or if you got one of those little guys, you definitely going to have big Charles Oakley type dudes that can be enforcers and try to keep some of these dudes off of them and then set screens for them and stuff like that. That's what Iverson had. He's a small guy playing 2, but you had a big Eric Snow. You had Aaron McKee who was big. You had George Lynch, who was all he was there for was rebounding, defending, and setting screens. Then you had Mutombo, and then you had who was his power forward. They might have been starting. Yeah, they were starting George Lynch at power forward. So it was Mutombo, George Lynch, Aaron McKee at the 3, Iverson at the 2, Eric Snow at the 1. Right. So that's how that was, right? But yeah, he pretty much said everything in a nutshell. He took the physical. Him and David Stern took the physicality out of the NBA because he thought that he could sell offense more, and he thought that the people wanted to watch more offense, more entertainment, and he thought people were just not cool with defense no more. And now he's saying that ship is sinking. And after the All-Star break, after the All-Star game died in this era. It's so uncompetitive. It's just bad. And the games are looking like that as well. So after the All-Star break this year, Adam Silver, what people didn't really notice is he sent the message out there to stop calling fouls. And people didn't know how to adjust to it. Trae Young, Steph Curry, Jalen Brunson, Dame Lillard, all these dudes is used to flopping on offense and going to the line. They wasn't calling it, and they was losing their freaking mind, right? So we'll see what they put emphasis on this season. Whenever it comes out on NBA.com, what their opponent emphasis is this season, we'll see if how they call the fouls is opponent emphasis. And I love to see that Adam Silver is putting defense back into the league, because when you seen how the Olympics look, when you turn it up a notch on defense, you get great offense as a response. Like we seen some great offense from Team USA, man. Whenever they got challenged. Greg Anderson, what's your thoughts, man?
Man, what's going on? I've been waiting to hear your thoughts as soon as this news broke. But check this out. My thoughts is like, man, it's funny. Like 6 months ago, KG was talking about LeBron is the GOAT. He just switched up his whole style. And now he's saying half the league wouldn't even, they wouldn't even be able to play in the 90s. So in theory, your GOAT can't be from an era that's watered down. So he just ate that a whole argument up. We knew why he was capping, and I understand why these new media members, they kind of like placate to the narratives, because it's big money out here. So you can't take half of what they say with a grain of salt. But the one thing that does hold true is, man, it ain't nothing about what we saying, ain't nothing about what you saying or KG saying. Just look at the ratings, man. Like, people not even watching the games no more. Like, the highest rated game is from the 90s, is from our era. So you could, I don't care what they say on ESPN, FS1. Just look at the ratings. The fans know what they're watching, and they watching a bad brand of basketball.
Yeah,
and that's all. That's all I gotta say. I'm about to hang up, man. I'm enjoying your commentary.
All right, bet. Got it.
All right.
Nah, that's a good call. He right. I've always said that, like, if I'm going to compare basketball players from different eras, the first thing I'm going to do before I start comparing the player is I'm going to start comparing the era, and I'm going to rank the era, right, based on competition, based on the rules of the era, and which ones was harder. That's gonna be my emphasis, right? And of course, there's no era, in my opinion, tougher than 90 to 2010. That little 20-year period right there, that's the best era as far as when you add in the talent and you add in the fact defense was allowed, right? Now, if you go an era before that, I think if you go 70s, 80s, I think the defense was even crazier than the 90s. So I would give the 70s and 80s the tougher defense to score against, because not based on the fact that they was allowing them to play football, right? I would say that was tougher. However, that wasn't legal defense. The 90s defense was legal. It was just good, tough, physical, hard-nosed defense, right? So, but I think the players, there were more really good players in the 90s than it was in the 70s and 80s. So I give that 90s the edge. Now, what happened after 2010 is, okay, we're going to change the rules to make the defense soft. And after that, it don't matter. Once you start playing Harlem Globetrotter ball, your era is the weakest era, right? So it's very tough for anybody in this era to be ranked above someone from the 90s to 2010 era. Caller from Indiana.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. What's good?
Oh man, I love your show, man. Yeah, I was just listening to what you were saying about with how the rules changed in 2010, and I agree with you 100%. You know, a lot of people don't bring up, in my opinion, how James Harden had that big scoring. You know, how his scoring just went up tremendously during the era where they first changed the rules, and you know where they're allowed to travel, take 3 steps back. And they was calling any cheap fouls. You know, I just think that's the only reason why they consider him like a top 5 shooting guard, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't consider him top 5 for sure.
You know, a lot of people do though, like the younger generation. You know.
Yeah, the young. I mean, yeah. I feel really bad for the younger generation. I feel really bad for them, bro. Like this is I can't believe that this is. I mean, Anthony Edwards, man, like this is your profession, bro. Like, and I heard him say when he was doing an interview with Jalen Rose and Kevin Durant right after the Olympics, right? He said something along the lines that, because I think Ant Edwards was a football player, and he said something along the lines that he didn't watch basketball, but when he started playing basketball, he said the only person he watched was Kevin Durant. So the 90s and the Michael Jordan and Bird and stuff, he has no recollection of what that was like, what it looked like. So he probably was a guy who liked football more until basketball became like his thing, but he didn't love it enough to study the history. Like he wasn't doing what Kobe was doing, locking himself in the room and studying old VCR tapes of legends. Like that's what Kobe was doing. They're not doing that now. You know what I mean? So, you know, that they're like you got most of the kids now that play on the wing. The only thing they're studying is Paul George. Like Paul George is their guy. But are they
He's the only two-way defender really right now.
Right.
Him and Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. Anthony Edwards. That's it.
Yeah, but he's a long 6'7" versatile wing that they see. I guess they can see that their body type is similar. And they kind of cling to Paul George. I mean, he's not a bad guy to study and look at, but at the end of the day, like, are you going anywhere beyond that and watching players before this era or players that was better than him? Are you watching Kobe? Are you watching how he ran off screens? Are you watching MJ, how he posted up? Are you watching how Rip or Reggie Miller ran off screens? Are you watching those things? Because you need that in your bag too. You just can't have one-on-one ISO bag. Like what are you gonna do if you don't have the ball? What if you get on the team with someone who's a legit John Stockton, J Kidd type point guard, and you're not gonna have to rock that much?
I'm glad you brought that up with John Stockton and J Kidd. I don't know if you watched the Gilbert Arenas show, and Gilbert Arenas was like because Brandon Jennings was like the top 5 point guards of all time. And he said you got to put J Kidd in there, and he put John Stockton as 5, and Gilbert Arenas was like, no, he was trash. And Kenyon Mark's like, what you just say?
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever seen that. He's like, come on now. I mean, Gilbert is another one. He say things just to get the younger viewers' attention. That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree. But Stockton, I used to have Stockton around 6 or 7. I still got Kidd above him at 5, right? So you know, I got at the point guard position, I got Magic, Isaiah, Steph, Oscar, and then J Kidd at 5, right? And at number 6 can be debatable. It can start with Stockton. You can put some more people at that number 6 spot, man. It's a lot of good point guards. So,
I can't even argue with that.
Yeah,
J Kidd won everywhere he went.
Yeah,
for the people that watch basketball in that era, like I don't care if he went to the Phoenix Suns, New Jersey Nets, even Dallas when they got their first chip. Yeah. Whenever J Kidd went, you know, the team improved.
And where he was at, he was the number 1. He wasn't the number 1 when he was a rookie in Dallas. I think you might want to get at the Jamal Mashburn, maybe, right? I think
right.
I think Mashburn, but when he went to Phoenix, he was the number.
He might have been. I mean, Penny Hardaway was out his prime. If Penny would have never had them knee issues with them two together, it was supposed to be something special.
It would have been, yeah, for sure. But yeah, so he had Penny. He had a couple of more guys there too. I think Kevin Johnson came out of retirement right before playoffs that year too. But Kidd had to guard Kobe in the playoffs because Sean Marion and Penny Hardaway couldn't stay with him. So they had to put Kidd on him. And that's when I really started realizing that Kidd was a really good defender, right? So his defense, even though Stockton was pesky and he played defense and he stuck his nose in there and he was crafty, he'd get a lot of fouls on you and stuff like that. Kidd was a better defender. You couldn't put Stockton on Kobe Bryant for 3 seconds.
No, he was too small.
Right.
I mean, he was 6'5". Yeah, he was too small.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's why they need to bring, this physical D back. I'm hoping they bring it back. The All-Star games are weak. I mean, that's why kids today only watch highlights. You know what I mean? The game is not entertaining. Even though the kids talking about basketball involved, they don't even watch the games. They don't even watch full games anymore.
No.
They only watch the highlights off YouTube. So how can you say the game more entertaining if you don't even really watch?
Yeah. They don't even practice no more or run plays.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's good.
crazy.
After LeBron them leave, I don't even know how we're going to win the Olympics in the next 4 years. You know what I mean? Because they're not going to be back in 4 more years. And I don't see who we're going to have carry the torch. Because they're not used to physical play. And I don't think nobody got a go-to move. Because everybody just fight up, shoot threes. They don't even do a 3-man weave. When they do a 3-man weave, they run out to the 3-point line. And that's not going to work when you go overseas. You got to play these boys when they play a little bit more physical.
Tatum will save us.
Man, if I was Tatum or Jaylen Brown, I wouldn't play. But, I mean, that's my opinion. The way they treated them boys, I wouldn't play.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And if I'm Kyrie, I go because Kyrie was born in Australia. If I'm Kyrie, I play for Australia.
Just to set an example, huh?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
But all right, man, appreciate the call.
Oh yeah, yep. Thank you. Keep up the good work, man.
All right, no doubt. Thanks.
Yep. Bye.
All right, we can get one more call in before we move on. Yeah, but what I was saying was J Kidd, he was a number 1 where he was at in New Jersey, and they got to the finals once, maybe twice, and they got to the conference finals, I think 3 years in a row. And J Kidd was the number 1. Maybe one of those years Kmart was the number 2, and one of those years Vince Carter was the number 2. But J Kidd was the number 1. So that's more than I can say for John Stockton. John Stockton was a number 2 his whole career, and he had the luxury of passing the ball to a top 3 scorer of all time in Karl Malone. Right. J Kidd didn't have that luxury, right? So the team was more on his shoulders than it was on Stockton's shoulders. Right. So that's my difference between J Kidd. And then the defense, like I said, that's my difference between J Kidd and Stockton. That's why I got Kidd over Stockton. But the crazy thing about it is people respect John Stockton so much, especially the people that played against him. Like J Kidd and CP3 would never put themselves over John Stockton. Like I've heard them talk about it, and they was like, "Nah, John is the point guard. Like I wouldn't put myself over John Stockton." So they got to count for something too. Caller, what's up from Alabama?
Man, what's up, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. What's your thoughts?
Man, I'm gonna tell you what's going on, man. With us, man, I think they put some of that clutch sports inside his Gatorade, man, because he was the same talking points, man, with that nonsense.
Well, I mean, what I already explained what it is, man. Like, they obligated as media members to keep growing the game. Like you can't stunt the growth of the game. You got to help grow it if you're a media member, because you don't have a job without them. So you can't stunt their growth and kill it. You got to grow it. So I mean, it's just him trying to be responsible and be a media dude like these other guys are, man. That's all it is.
Yeah, you talking about Anthony Edwards?
No, I'm talking about KG. Oh, you talking about Anthony Edwards?
I'm talking about Anthony Edwards. I said during the Olympics, they put some of their clutch sports shoes in his Gatorade, like he drunk it.
Yeah, you know what? Ain't no telling, man.
Yeah, he using the same talking points, man, which is wild.
Yeah,
was wild. But I think it might hit hard to him because Kevin Garnett saying what he said. One Timberwolf one former Timberwolf to another Timberwolf that it may hit home for him.
Yeah,
he may
facts. Yeah,
he may think about what he said. But as far as what you were saying about the competitiveness with the All-Star game, I always thought this. I don't know if they could do it, but I think they might need to take the MLB format. So, like, whichever conference wins the All-Star game, they get the home court advantage in the finals.
And I don't like it. Not for the NBA because their problem is it's not going to change the root of the problem, right? It's just another gimmick. Like they tried it, like they keep trying gimmicks, like these guys are missing ball games, so let's see if we'll make you got to play 65 games to be eligible for award, or these dudes are sitting games out early in the season, so let's do an in-season tournament and see if that change. Like you keep doing gimmicks and you keep avoiding the elephant in the room, which is you change the rules to have no defense. The competitive edge is gone. You're rewarding guys that don't play defense. Like that's the root of all your problems. If you stop rewarding people that don't play D, stop glamorizing them, right? And you start prioritizing defense in the league again, the toughness will come back. All that puss ass stuff will go away.
Yeah, I agree, man. Because the two way player was celebrated back then, like in the 90s, the early 2000s, even like way back then. So yeah, I agree with you on that, bro.
Facts. Yeah,
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, but now no more gimmicks, man. No more gimmicks. All right, brother.
I agree. Yeah, I got one more question, man.
Yeah.
This kind of all the subject, man. You saw Jaylen Brown's rap video?
Man, I kind of seen it, man. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but I just don't like it, man. Go hoop, man.
Yeah, I wasn't judging him rapping. I was just really listening to what he was saying. He pretty much like F Nike subliminally.
Oh, he said I didn't catch that.
Yeah, that's pretty much what the whole point. Like in the intro, like when you
really?
watch the intro when they showing like the media scrutiny he got like with the Olympics and all that, it opened up with that. And pretty much in the song, that's what he's saying. And in hindsight, he said basically saying, "I own these basketballs, I got more fun for myself."
I suggest Jaylen Brown go and watch Undercover Brother because he got a storm coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go try to set that man up. He better not make no mistakes.
Yeah, they go Kyrie him in some way.
Yeah, they go try to. But all right, man. Let me get a couple more callers in.
All right, bro. Appreciate it, man.
All right, thank you. Yep.
All right.
Caller from Mississippi, what's good?
What's down, man? Hey, this is a good show, man. I like how you break down the aspects of basketball. You feel me?
Appreciate it.
But I'm gonna play devil's advocate on it. I agree with you, but I'm gonna say I believe Anthony Edwards just didn't know because he always talks about he didn't watch basketball.
Yeah.
But I want to give a little credit to this era. Even Steve Kerr said he don't know how he would play in these eras because the guys are bigger and just faster and stronger.
He lying.
Now I agree with you as the point of okay, do you feel who like you go to the rec and play with the youth?
Yeah.
They play way better one-on-one basketball now. I can't.
Nah, they still can't. Nah, they're bad. It's horrible. It's horrible. I'm talking about. I had a mouse in the house, right? I'm not a big dude. I'm only like 5'10", right? But I got real good post game, right? I get you down there. I get the fadeaway. I don't care if you're bigger than me or not. And I'm kind of strong down there too for my size. So I got somebody on my back in the post, and I'm playing like I normally play. I didn't notice that these young dudes don't play like that. They didn't even know how to feed the post. I got the ball like one. I got the ball one. I posted up like 10 times. I got the ball one time in the post after I had to force them like, man, throw the freaking ball, man. And I don't know these kids, right? So I'm like, man, they don't know. They don't know the advantage I got down here. Like I got an advantage down here. If I get the ball, I'm gonna show you something. Man, they wanted everything spread out so they can just dribble drive, and they was jacking threes. I'm like, man, this is ridiculous, man. No, they're not, and they still not messing with me. So nah, I'm not buying it, man. The players are not better and faster. Evolution does not work in 20 years like that. Evolution, for a human being to be like significantly faster and bigger and stronger, that's thousands hundreds of thousands and millions of years for that to actually evolve. We still got the same type of athletes. They jump the same height. They run just as fast. They're all still big. Like, you know, they just doing stuff different. Like Giannis looked like a cut up big dude to everybody. David Robinson was more cut and more and bigger. Yeah, he's basically David Robinson. The only difference is they letting him handle the ball.
But that's a point. Oh, we can't take that away. I agree with everything.
But David Robinson can handle the ball too, brother.
He wasn't a lot. See, that's what I be calling into the other stuff. I agree with what you saying, but what they say is they wasn't allowed to do. So we taking
look on screen.
It from a real basketball.
Look on screen.
I agree.
Look on screen. David Robinson moves and is just as agile as Giannis, handles the ball just as good as Giannis. The only difference is he's got a better touch on his jump shot, right? He basically did a Euro step just now. Look at him go coast to coast. This is in the late 80s. Look at that. Look how fast he was. That is freaking ridiculous. Like people didn't even know David could do that, because by the time they seen David, he was once you start getting coached. Now, once you start getting coached, they want all 7-footers in the post. They didn't want you to do that often.
You making my point though. I'm agreeing with you. That's what but I'm saying, if you're not allowed to showcase what you can do, it matters. But the people gonna look at it like that. I'll give you one better. I'll give you this one. You know this one. Shaq could have been a Giannis, but if he just kept getting bigger, put on which 01 Shaq, you can't go wrong with 01, 04 Shaq, fat Shaq.
Yeah.
But before Shaq got big, Shaq used to run the floor just the same way. But
Facts.
like you said, you couldn't do that. You had to go. Chris Jackson, I don't want to call him there, you know, but you know his Muslim name. He from Mississippi. He from where I'm from. Yeah. One of the best shooters, shoot just as good as Steph Curry. And I told
if not better.
If not better. But he wasn't allowed to do what Steph Curry could do. I agree with what you're saying. I'm saying when you go play the kids one-on-one, I don't think you heard when I said one-on-one. They can't do no IQ basketball, no 5-on-5, throw the ball in the post. I went to my nephew's game, and they stopped on a fast break, just like Steph. I'm talking about 3-on nothing.
How old were they?
This was junior high, 9th grade, 8th grade. And I stood up. I was gonna leave. I said, man, what? And the coach didn't say, hey, man, you know this. When we played, the coach took everybody out.
Man, exactly.
Not just the man who shot it, he took everybody out.
Exactly. Bruh, my coach would take me out. If even look, I'm the point. This is how my middle school coach does. He don't care who got the rebound. As soon as you get it, you turn and you throw the outlet pass. You could be the point guard. You better throw the outlet pass, because the ball moves faster than the man. So as soon as you get the rebound, my coach wanted that outlet pass as close as the half court as possible. If you could get it to half court off one pass, that's perfect, because that's going to be your best opportunity for early offense, fast break. This stuff that Westbrook was doing, grabbing a rebound and then going coast to coast, you miss your opportunity for an outlet pass. The outlet pass is the number one thing you do out there rebound. So snatching the ball off the rim and then taking off running was not, that's not something we coached at all, man. Like, so coaching is totally different, bro. Totally different.
And that's why I give the youth some kind of break, because I heard you say it all the time. If they don't do like the ball movement, and I heard Bron say this, and I'm like, Bron, I'm a Bron fan. I'm like, Bron, what you talking about? He said, players be having trouble learning plays and flipping plays.
Sheesh.
You know what they do? Run the play to one side, and if they say run the play to the other side, they can't do it. And he said players don't know how to feed the post. I'm like, God, ain't no way NBA players don't know how to throw the ball in the post.
That's sad.
That's like impossible, right? But I'm hearing you say this, I'm like, and I'm saying like, damn, players, I can't. who can really feed the post besides the old player, Bron, Chris Paul? So
it's ridiculous.
I think it's more on the game development. Skill development is nice now. They can play one-on-one and dribble. But I'm gonna let you go. But I want to know your thoughts on, because you be breaking down. What do we gotta do to get back to keep the skill, keep the jumping and 6 foot, 7 foot, if you can handle the ball, but mix in some movement and mix in some development of IQ. So if Westbrook had Chris Paul IQ, we wouldn't be close. If he worked on the shot and worked on IQ. So what do you think?
The only thing they got to do is just whatever they was doing in the 90s, get as close as back to those as far as how you officiate the game and how you call the game. Because the defense will bring everything. Did you enjoy watching Team USA this summer?
Oh, I love that.
Right, it looked good, didn't it?
It looked good.
That's all they got to do. Bring that style of defense back, and basketball is back to where we needed to be at.
So do you think, I'm gonna let you go, do you think they should shrink the court though? Because the court, you've been on the NBA court. I thought all courts were the same size. That shit look bigger. I don't know if the guy is bigger, but that court bigger than a high school, college type gym. It look bigger or something. I don't know if the floor actually bigger, but it look bigger than
they don't need to mess with that. That's been the same for too long. There's no need to mess with it. Only thing I gotta do is fix the defense, fix the rules, fix the officiating, and we back in there. I'm telling you, that's all they got to do. Everything else will fix itself. It's more problems than just the defense, but if you fix the defense, everything else will auto-correct.
Okay.
Everything else will auto-correct.
You think around 2008, 2009 style play?
Go back a little further. I mean, I want to see what I seen with the Olympics. I want to see what I'm seeing with the WNBA. The WNBA got it perfect.
They do got it perfect, but they don't. Okay, so that means we have to take out a couple of them because we gotta keep the human element in it too. That means we gotta look at some of them fouls. If you accidentally hit a man, okay, I can see what they were saying in the 90s. I watched the 90s when I had to go back and watch it, but they was doing clothesline. You can't do that.
That was before the 90s. That was before the 90s.
No, I mean, now I watched the finals. That's why I give Jordan a hard time too. The finals, they wasn't as physical as the cup when they played the Knicks. Now I'm talking about the Knicks. They were they were throwing a few bowls. So not that, but if you accidentally, like I know, if you accidentally hit a man, in the nose, you get a fine, flagrant. They kick you out of the game. So it's a lot of stuff they're gonna have to look at, man. Now.
Hey, if they call me, man, I get them right.
Put you on payroll. All right, man. I'm gonna let you go. Enjoy the rest of the show.
All right, no doubt. All right, I can take one more. I think it was one call from Massachusetts that kept trying to call in from that 774 number. I can get you in real quick if you can call in the next 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7. Somebody beat you to it. Funky Town, what's up?
Hey, brother, man. How you doing? Great show today, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Hey, I'm with you. You know I am when it comes to this stuff. The Army went through a situation in the early 2000s, late 90s. They called the Army of One, right? And they figured it out that when you individualize something that's supposed to be done in an ensemble, in a group, you tend to mess things up because you got people thinking that it's really about them when it's really supposed to be about the team. Mm-hmm. And so this whole, they're better because all they do is work on that individual skill. They don't work on playing basketball together. They're not taught to play together. And this has been happening for too long, from AAU to high school, all this other stuff. They have no coaches that are showing them how to play basketball because the coaches don't take the time because, you know, like the AAU stuff, right? They see them on the weekend. A lot of times, you know, especially get to the select level, these dudes are coming from all parts of the Eastern Seaboard or Western, wherever they're from. They're not really together. They're a select team. So when you get into this level, these guys aren't practicing with each other.
No.
They're playing with each other. And all they're doing is individually showcasing what they can do. And that's how this has been going on for so long. And so now you got these guys who think that's basketball. And that's not basketball.
No.
Basketball is ball movement, knowing how to react, and knowing how your teammate is going to react to whatever they do. And if you have to go in support or not. All these things that, like how we were brought up, like it just became, like you said, the coach drilled in you, outlet. Everybody else knew, get in those lanes, and then start conversion. And that was because your coach took the time to drill it into you. Because a lot of kids would have, like you said, point guard got the ball. I got the ball. That means offense is on. Coach is like, no, that ball moves faster than your feet. Get the ball into play because that's what's important.
Yeah.
And like KG said, y'all beat the air out the ball. And you watch them. They can't do a pull-up. You know, two dribbles, pull up, get to their spot and make whatever happen. They can't, they don't do that because they don't understand the reasons why I need to put that in my bag. You put that in your bag because the things that you did back in the day, the things they let you do for the first 3 quarters, you're probably not going to be able to do that in the fourth quarter.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not going to let you, those defensive players, they've been watching you, not just film, but they know your tendencies. You better have a couple moves at every point you're at on that floor.
Yeah.
They don't have that because like they just go to the wings and they jack up threes and, you know, that's this boring basketball we got right now.
Yeah. Yeah. You spitting. That's facts. And that leads me to believe that the skill that they think they have and the fact that they think they're more skilled now is just a weird way to look at it, man, because there's a lot of skill that they lost and left on the table that 90s and early 2000s had. You know,
right. I think KG, and I think that's what KG was saying. They don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
Like they think that what they're calling skill, that's really not skill.
Yeah.
Because if everybody back then could have done what Hot Sauce did on the And1 tour, guess what? They could do that too.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody talks about Allen Iverson's crossover. You ever see that commercial, one of his first commercials for Reebok? When he did that bounce behind his back and spin. Have you ever seen that move?
I think so. Yeah.
It's an illusion. If you see it, it's an illusion. Like when you saw him do it at real speed, you're like, wait a minute, what did he just do? Because he spent the wrong way or the other way. The ball went a different way, but he didn't even carry. The thing is, you couldn't do that kind of showboat stuff because that's you're taking the focus off of what the team is trying to accomplish, which is score a basket. Like you can do it to a point as long as it's serving a purpose. But if it gets to a point where I'm sitting here and I'm just like Kyrie, one thing I like about Kyrie is purposeful about how he moves that ball, like Rod Strickland was.
I agree.
Rod Strickland was purposeful. Rod Strickland, his handles, I saw Rod Strickland go through the lane, through his legs, in the forest of players, and came out on the other side, just dropped it in there like it was nothing. But it was all economy of motion. There was no wasted effort. He did it every move. He had a counter. When this person did that, he did that. Yeah. And he did it smooth. It wasn't no start, stop, double, triple, travel backwards to shoot the ball. Nope. That's the thing. They're these rules, like you said, the rules have allowed them to look like they got skills. No, if you put that ball on the bottom hemisphere of that ball, that's a carry.
Yeah.
Go back and look at some of those tapes. How many times did you watched it? How many times did Jordan get called for travel just because of how quick his step was?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that he used to get called for travel because of how quick his first step was.
Yeah.
They want to pretend like, oh, it was it was all no. They were real. They were. I'm not just talking about when they're upset with you. They were strict about those rules.
I mean, I don't know if you was in here when I showed Ray for Austin's when they called travel on him.
I
Man.
was.
They weren't playing. They weren't playing. I mean, because it was a style of play that they wanted to sell, and street ball wasn't part of the wasn't part of the plan. So that was cutting it. That was cutting it out.
That stuff looks good on a street ball type situation, but in a real game, like white chocolate, straight up, that dude was amazing to watch.
But
when he was in his bag.
But you know that what's funny about Jason Williams though?
What was that?
He gets drafted by Sacramento, and he's killing. You know, man, he saw some people up, Stockton, Gary Payton. Ain't none of that had nothing for him, right? He had to just doing fancy stuff, right? But Rick Adelman was the type of coach, like he installed the Princeton offense there. The Princeton offense is a beautiful offense, man. I seen Princeton
it?
Oh man, I seen Princeton beat Carolina.
You remember that early 90s when they beat in the NCAA?
Oh yeah, yeah. Everybody on that team selling insurance right now. But and they beat Carolina. So but that Princeton offense is beautiful, man. The way they pass, the ball movement, the player movement, the back doors, dribble hand. I mean, it's just beautiful, right? So that's what they was doing.
It was a well-oiled machine
in Sacramento, but Jay Will was doing all this fancy stuff, which was cool, but Rick Adelman couldn't stand it.
No, he couldn't.
So
no, he could not.
Sacramento actually played better when they traded him for Mike Bibby, and Mike Bibby showed up, and that offense just took off.
But I can assure you, Mike Bibby was just as the razzle dazzle stuff. Mike Bibby had all that in his bag. Yeah. You remember he won national championship as a freshman.
Yeah, for sure. But he was more of a shooter, so it fit well with their Princeton offense because they made a lot of passes out of the high post with Vlade Divac and Chris Webber, and Bobby Jackson, Mike Bibby, Doug Christie, Pedro Stojakovic, Turkoglu. There was that squad. I hate that they cheated them for the Lakers, man.
When they cheated them, when the game hit to the Lakers, I do too, because Bibby. A lot of people don't realize how great Bibby was, and actually, then was it injuries that stopped him? Because Bibby, I saw that dude at Arizona, and I saw that dude. I mean, I realized how good his father was. I had to go back and look up how great his father was. So my dad was like, "Oh, you didn't see his dad at UCLA." You know what I'm saying?
His dad was nice like that too.
Man, bruh. But like I said, there are people that they think that coaching doesn't matter. Dean Smith, Wooden, Krzyzewski, whoever, Bobby Knight. These dudes had maybe sometimes they were stuck in their own ways or whatever. But one thing they could do is coach a basketball team.
Yeah, for sure.
They knew how to get the best out of whatever they had in their system. They knew how to.
I couldn't imagine no coach letting LeBron coach their team, man. But look, hey, Funky Town, let me get you out of here. We're almost on 10 minutes on this one phone call. I got to move on.
I got you. Hey, have a good one. Y'all hit that like button.
All right, thanks, bro.
Yep.
Hey, Massachusetts, man, 774, man. Like I'm trying to get you in before I move on, man. You got one more chance to call. If somebody else beat you in here, I'm just gonna move. All right, there we go.
Chance to call.
All right, hey, shut YouTube off so I can't hear the echo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's good, man?
Nothing much. First and foremost, I would like to say I appreciate the work that you're doing. You're keeping real basketball alive. You're keeping Kobe's name alive and relevant, and that's the blessing. Now, to get to the topic at hand, I actually agree with everything Kevin Garnett said. I personally believe since 2012, 2013, the NBA has been trash. I'm 37 years old. I've been watching since the mid-90s, since Kobe got drafted, probably a little earlier. But you ever played the game NBA 2K? That's what the NBA reminds me of. As in, like 2K, you could put all the offensive sliders up and then remove all the defensive sliders. That's what the NBA. That's what the NBA is right now. Like essentially, you could do everything possible on offense, but no defense is being played. The question is like, can you imagine if Kawhi Leonard or Draymond Green or even Rudy Gobert, who doesn't get too much credit, can you imagine if they were able to hand check you and ride you up the court like the 90s would do?
Yeah.
Like the early 2000s would do? Can you imagine where they would rank at in the defensive ranking? It's so horrible. It's so pleasing for Adam Silver to say, essentially he came out and said it not a while back. Like he basically wants the offense to shine and the defense, like it's not there no more. It's not relevant. It's not going to get no better. I'm sorry to say it right now. It's not going to get any better. It's actually going to need. We're going to actually need a generational talent to change the whole flow of the game. In my honest opinion.
So you saying we need another Shaq to come in the league?
We're going to need another. We more than likely might need another Shaq or another Michael Jordan, Kobe-like type player to change the game. Because in this era, to be truthful, I know a lot of people might give me slack for this, but in this era, there's two players that actually changed the game for the worse. First one being LeBron James creating the super teams. Some people might say the 2008 Boston Celtics, but we know the truth of that. Kevin Garnett originally called Kobe Bryant to link up with him, but that didn't happen because Kobe didn't pick up the phone. It's Steph Curry. Steph Curry changed the game globally for the better because he gave young children who know they won't be 6'5", 6'6", and a vision like I could possibly make the NBA getting real good at threes. But in the same aspect, he changed the NBA for the worse because now everyone wants to shoot threes.
Right.
There's really 5 levels of scoring. There really is. And all we see now, if you're not dunking, you're shooting the three. Like there really ain't there's no great mid-range shooters. You could say DeMar DeRozan somewhat, or you might say Anthony Edwards somewhat, but there's no great mid-range shooters. There's no one the only 2 players you might see playing the post now are big men and Joker and Embiid. It's just horrible. There's nothing that's going to change it. There's absolutely nothing that's going to change it. As long as this money's being made and as long as our eyes are drawn to the TV, the program, your phone, whatever it is to watch the game, they're not going to change it. They think it's going to be appealing, but truthfully, it's just going to further die out. If I'm not mistaken, for the last, 6-7 years now, the NBA ratings have been dropping drastically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is it? Let me see. If I'm not mistaken, about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, when have we ever witnessed a WNBA game get higher ratings than an NBA game?
Hey, the W rocking though, boy.
Caitlin Clark got it rocking right now.
I don't know about Caitlin Clark. It's just good basketball, man. Caitlin Clark be getting work most of the times I watch her play. But
the first half of the season, the second half of the season, she's been doing amazing things. Asia Wilson's been actually holding the WNBA on her back. So I give it to Angel Reese too. I got to give that young woman her credit too. But when have we known the WNBA to get higher ratings than the actual NBA? Yeah. It's never happened in its 25, 30 years until, 2 months ago? And it's been on a rise ever since. Like, in order for this to all change, one of 2 things is going to have to happen. Adam Silver is going to have to step down and let someone new come in and commission the league and bring back all the old rules, such as hand checking, such as in traveling, because now all of a sudden a gather step, from what we know, I'm 37, a gather step 20 years ago was a travel. Point blank period. Now it's a gather step. I can't even explain what a gather step is now unless it's a travel. Everything, they just need to bring it back, or 2, we're going to really need another Shaq type player to step in the league. And we're never going to have that. Shaq was a once in a million years. Embiid, you might say, oh, he's close to it. Nah, Embiid's nowhere close to it. Joker's nowhere close to it. We don't have a player that's close to a Kobe type level, Michael Jordan type level. Hell, we could even put Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan. We don't have players like that anymore. I mean, like, this era's soft. It's just you breathe on them the wrong way. Technical foul. You look at them the wrong way, you might get suspended. You call them out their name, you flagrant foul number 2.
That's what started this whole war. With the old school players that's retired calling the league soft. And that's when everybody started pushing back and kind of disrespecting the old school, you know what I mean? JJ Redick, Draymond, they got tired of being called soft. So they did start being disrespectful to the OGs, man. But I mean, it was true. They was trying to correct the problem. They was looking at the league. You gotta respect the dudes that paid the way for you. And when they speak on something, it's for a reason, man. They seen this coming. Look, man, y'all going in the wrong direction with this league. And they was trying to tell people, but they took offense to it, man. So that's what started everything, calling them soft and all that, man. So I try to refrain from that, man, because that kind of starts like it makes them want to fight back when you do that. And I think the disrespect got to stop, man. Like, you can't disrespect the old school and the OGs, man. It's just crazy.
This is the first ever to do it. The past eras, the 90s always paid homage to the 80s.
Always.
The 80s always paid homage to the 70s. The 2000s always paid homage to the 90s. But now all of a sudden, you guys ain't got no skill. Y'all are soft. You're playing against a bunch of plumbers and firemen. Right. That's very disrespectful. But truthfully be told, and it's the truth, yes, half of them were plumbers and firemen, but you have to understand the real situation. The money that you guys are making nowadays are nothing. It's the 60s, the 70s were making probably 0.1% of what you guys are making now. They had to go home and go work another job just to provide for the family. NBA money wasn't cutting it there. It's a travesty to what we're seeing, but it's not just in basketball. We're actually seeing it across all sports, and it's not going to change.
I respect it with football because that sport needs to be safer. And, it is what it is, man. They made it easier for quarterbacks and receivers, man. And the hitting is not as crazy. But if it's making it safer, I'm cool with that, right? So I'm cool with the football thing. But the fact that the NBA is doing it, it's not making the game safer. They're just doing it because they want to see more points. And I got an issue with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. You know what I mean? So I get the NBA and any other league, hockey, whatever, man. But, a sport like basketball and football, man, I can't get with it.
The last thing I want to say, I personally have John Stockton in my top 5. The only reason why most people won't put him in the top 5 is because of the fact that he doesn't have a championship ring.
Well, not really. But I mean, I wouldn't tax him on the ring. But I don't have him there because he's never been a number 1. You get what I'm saying? Like if right now, I know being a principal takes more. I mean, that might be a bad analogy, but we know it's more pressure on the principal and all the responsibilities on the principal than it is the assistant principal, right? So if we was having a principal of the year award get passed out, how many assistant principals you think would get nominated?
None of them.
None of them, right? So when we're talking about the greatest of all time, it's really odd to have a number 2 in the conversation with nothing but number 1s, because the responsibility for that number 1 was way more. And John Stockton, all the pressure, not all of it, but most of that pressure felt on Karl Malone's shoulders, not Stockton's.
You're right. But at the same time, there's no one catching John Stockton in this. From the way it's looking.
Of course not.
Of
course not. John Stockton played 1,000 years like a vampire, and he didn't miss no games, and he was a real pass first point guard. So just because nobody catch you on paper, now if we having this conversation just on paper, like, hey, let's have this conversation with people who never watched the game. I'm gonna just Google all the stats and you tell me which one is the best. Yeah, on paper, John Stockton might be in the top 5. He might be number 1 on paper. But the fact that we actually watched the game and we actually lived through that era, I think Jason Kidd was better.
I can't disagree with you there. Do you have Chris Paul ranked above John Stockton?
I do not.
Okay.
I start the debate at number 6. I don't have a number 6. I got 5, but the debate for me starts at number 6, and that debate starts with Stockton, CP3, Gary Payton. You might even can throw Pistol Pete in there. You might be able to throw Rondo.
Where you have Steve Nash at?
Steve Nash is somewhere in there. I mean, he's not gonna be number 6 for me at all. At all. I will put Rondo ahead of Nash.
Yeah, I think I'll take Rondo ahead of Nash too. I'm not even wrong.
Yeah. Now here's the shocker though. I don't have Westbrook as high as other people got him.
Why would you have Westbrook as high?
I just don't, bro. I don't, man. I don't respect what he did, man. He's a dope player, but I'm not about to put him up for a triple double stat. I just don't have a lot of respect for triple doubles in this era, right? Because triple doubles is first and foremost, you have to play bad basketball to get them in this era, right? The guys that get triple doubles a lot don't play defense. Luka, Harden, Westbrook, Jokic, LeBron James. Those guys is always flirting with a triple double, don't play no defense, right? So the first thing you have to do if you want those rebounds, everybody's shooting threes, so a long jump shot or a long three turns into what if you miss? A long rebound.
A long rebound.
Right. So we're looking at rebounds and we're impressed by rebounds because in our mind, we remember rebounds being something that people like Rodman, Shaq, Charles Oakley battled for in the paint. So we're still viewing a rebound as a tough thing to get. But the guys that's getting triple doubles, they're not battling for those rebounds. Those rebounds are falling outside the paint. You only have to box nobody out to get them. Right. Mm-hmm. So the guys who's going to be in the best position to get those long rebounds are the ones who's not guarding the ball. So the best player got the ball, you put your best defender on them. Guess where your worst defender go? In the corner, guarding someone that's not even involved in the offense. So when that shot go up, that's the guy who has the best opportunity to run down that long rebound. So that's why all the non-defensive players are flirting with triple doubles because they're in the corner guarding somebody that ain't got no business being on the court, right? So they run down those rebounds. And then on offense, if you're the point guard, you're going to get 8 to 10 assists a game. Because what type of offense they run in this era? Spread the floor, high screen and roll. The only person that's going to get an assist by design is the guy who's running the high screen and roll. So you're locked in for 8 to 10 assists and 8 to 10 rebounds every single game. And then guess what? If you're the best player on the team, you're also getting 20 to 30 shots a game. So you're already designed to get a triple double every game. It's not impressive at all.
You're right. And my last thing I'm going to say before I hang this phone up, thank you for your time. This is going to be controversial. I personally don't have LeBron James ranked over Larry Bird. I personally believe Larry Bird's the greatest small forward of all time. And my reason being is he had the game to back it up. But we have yet to see another American-born Caucasian male that ran his mouth and backed it up like he did. That's it.
Ain't controversial at all, man. I'm with you on that. Yeah, I mean, it's debatable. It's debatable, but it ain't crazy.
All right, you have a good night, brother.
All right, bro. Yep. All right, so let's do this. Let's be a little bit faster with this one. I don't even know if I'm gonna open the phone lines up. So let's move to Magic Johnson, man. So Magic Johnson also, we stand on Anthony Edwards, man, because Magic Johnson also had some things to say, and what he said was crazy as well. I think he was at some type of event that Stephen A. Smith was having, and I think he was interviewing Magic Johnson in L.A. And he was asking him all types of questions about Kobe, questions about Jordan, the GOAT debate, LeBron, and then he asked him about Anthony Edwards and the comments that he said based on no one being skilled in the 90s era other than Michael Jordan. And this is what Magic Johnson said.
Anthony Edwards just said the other day that there really wasn't any skilled players in the NBA back in the day outside of Michael Jordan. That's what he said. Your response to that, Irvin Magic Johnson?
Well, I don't never respond to a guy that's never won a championship. There's not nothing to really say. He didn't win a college championship. I don't know if he even won a high school championship. So you just say there was no athletes or no great players, just Michael Jordan. What they don't understand, Michael Jordan didn't win in his 6th, 7th year. So I guess it was some great players before Michael Jordan. But like I said, I love him. I love his smile. I love his game, Anthony Edwards. But you gotta achieve something before you can start making big statements like that. If I'm him, I'm just saying, you know what? We had a great run. We won the gold medal. I'm disappointed by what happened last season. We didn't win the championship, and work on that, right? And so now with clicks and views, everybody's caught up into that. Everybody want to say something to get more views and more followers. But when you come at me or come at us, I'm always come back. Magic.
And that's how they see it, man. They coming at them. He said, when you come at me or you come at us. That's how the old school have seen it. And you can tell because Magic ain't, JJ Redick and other people that done said slick stuff, Magic ain't really jump in. I don't know if this is true, but I think when Steph Curry was on Gil's Arenas podcast earlier this year, and they asked him, man, you think you the best point guard of all time? And Steph was like, yeah, right. And then, that set the internet on fire, and everyone was talking about that for days. And Stephen A. Smith read a text message supposedly from Michael Jordan. He read a text message from the GOAT. Well, the GOAT was like, and mind you, he don't really speak out like that. So for him to send this text message, and according to Stephen A. Smith, he said, yes, you can read it on the air. Basically, Michael Jordan was saying, man, I disagree. Magic is the greatest. Isaiah is right behind him. He pretty much was saying that, man. So in order for Mike to speak out, it really got to bother them the way that the guys after them are treating this whole thing of ours that they call this whole fraternity of theirs, right? They don't like it for Mike to speak out. And then now you got Magic speaking out. We had Jerry West speak out against JJ Redick last year. Which one of the Celtics is still alive? It might be Bob Cousy. Bob Cousy spoke out against JJ Redick. Michael Cooper spoke out against JJ Redick when he disrespected Larry Bird. Like nobody is exempt. They done disrespected Larry Bird. JJ Redick did. Dominique Wilkins spoke out against JJ Redick. So many people was pissed. Draymond Green disrespected Cornbread Maxwell, who calls games for the Celtics. Draymond Green went on his podcast, disrespected him. Right? It's unreal, man. Now you disrespecting Magic by Steph Curry. Steph Curry disrespected him, and now Anthony Edwards disrespecting him the whole entire era, right? So Magic is speaking out, and I think they sick of it, right? They about to squash him. They the OGs, right? They should be lucky that they wasn't saying nothing before. They was just letting them talk. Now they about to step in. They can shut this whole thing down for them, right? They can really shut it down. And the reason why I say that this was the kiss of death, because it was really sweet and gentle the way he did it. It wasn't brutal, but it was a death blow, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. For him to say, I don't even respond to people who have never won anything. I don't think he's won in college or high school. He definitely didn't win in the NBA. For you to say that, I don't think Anthony Edwards can say anything else publicly until he wins. Like he pretty much said, shut up talking to me. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. That's basically what he said. He don't know what to do now. Shoot, this man said he don't even respond to people who ain't never won nothing. I can't go back to high school and win. I can't go back to Georgia and win in college. So I just gotta shut up until I win in Minnesota. That's basically what he told him, right? So what you're seeing is very similar to like Clash of the Titans, right? You know, if I remember correctly, how that Clash of the Titans movie was, you had Zeus and the other gods living up in the heavens, and then you had these demigods or these humans or these half breeds on Earth or whatnot, right? And all out war broke out between them. I look at the OGs as like the guys of this whole thing, right? That's the Zeus and all this stuff, man. So it looked like it's gonna be an all out war between them just because they beefing about whose arrow was what and whose arrow was not this and that. And I don't think that this new school is gonna win. You can't win because now all the old school gotta do is be very honest and stop lying for y'all and start telling y'all what's wrong with y'all league and start telling y'all what's wrong with y'all product and y'all game and start talking about how soft it is, right? They've been punching y'all with kid gloves and telling y'all how great y'all are, but when you really look at it, anytime 90s style defense gets turned up on somebody in the playoffs, I start seeing people crumble. I seen Jokic crumble against 90s defense last year. Without them giving him the hands off the merchandise treatment when he made his deep playoff run when he won it, where you couldn't touch him and they was allowing him to touch you. Yeah, he made a run. But when you don't give him hands off the merchandise treatment, he can't get back to the finals. Same thing as Giannis, can't get back to the finals. Same thing as LeBron and AD with the Lakers, can't get back to the finals. So it's same thing as Steph, can't get back to the finals. They can barely get back to the playoffs. But when they say, all right, man, y'all can't touch them, let them have their way, let them get their stuff off, then they look like superstars. But when their defense get turned up on them, they start looking like John Starks a little bit. So that's the secret that the OGs know. They know we played against tougher defense. Y'all not playing against defense. I'm looking at it. You can't touch that guy. That's why they keep saying, oh, MJ will average whatever he want in this league. Like if MJ played in this era, he'll average whatever he want. Like a player that got trained based on real defense coming into this league and playing against no defense, it's over. He knew all the tricks to the trade on real defense. So using those tricks on false defense is crazy. If Luka's averaging 35 and Embiid is averaging 35, you can go ahead and put 40 or 45 up for MJ. One dribble pull up, two dribble pull up. He don't even need to get to the hole. His mid-range jump shot with a hand in his face is just as good as someone's layup. His post fadeaway is just as good as someone's layup. Come on, man, get out of here, right? So with Magic saying that, like I said, it was the kiss of death, right? And he tried to play nice with him at the end and tell him, I like him, I like his smile, but he probably should have just chilled and shut up, man. Yeah, I think that was a warning shot from Magic. Magic didn't have to say nothing. That was a warning shot. I think everybody should probably just chill and stop coming for the 90s and beyond. Just realize and understand that they the OGs. Just realize that they paved the way for y'all. Realize that they actually went through a tougher brand of basketball, so y'all can be enjoying all of this, which y'all enjoying now. This cupcake Harlem Globetrotter NBA with all the money. You owe it to them. So try not to insult those guys. I mean, you really gotta be smarter than that, right? That's my whole thoughts on Anthony Edwards doing that and Magic Johnson setting them straight, man. I really like the fact that he did that. But the last thing I get on, right, is because it all started from Anthony Edwards saying that there was no skill other than MJ. MJ was the only one skilled, right? And like I was saying in the earlier segment, they don't understand how far the skill umbrella stretches, right? Skill is just not how you pat the ball and how you get in your bag. That's just not the only skill, right? There's skill that you develop not even having the ball in your hand, right? So off ball skill is a real thing, right? So but defense is a skill as well, right? And the fact that they don't allow you to play it in this league, that's a dying breed. That's a dying skill as well, right? And I was talking earlier on a video, I think Avery Johnson video I did, when I want to say somebody in the comment section was talking about LeBron being able to guard all 5 positions and multiple positions, right? And I got an example for you to kind of think about, right? I want you to think about a car, and I want you to think about a SUV, not even one of the best SUVs. Just think about a Mitsubishi Montero Sport. I used to like those in high school. I wanted one, a Montero Sport. This is a car that can go off-road a little bit if you get the all-wheel drive one, but it drives on road as well, right? But it's not the best off-road car, and it's not the best car on the road either. So it's versatile. It can do off-road and on-road, but it's not going to be better than like a Jeep Wrangler off-road, and it's definitely not going to be better than like a BMW on the road. So it's not the smoothest ride on the road, and it can't go on all the terrain that a Jeep Wrangler or some other off-road car can go, right? But it does both. That's how I look at the whole LeBron can guard all 5 positions, right? You can guard a 5, but you can't guard the best 5, and you're not the best defender at the 5 position. You're not the best position. You're not the best defender at the 4 position, and you can't guard the best 4s, and you can't guard the best 1s, and you're not the best defender at the 1 position. So you being versatile, it's a net negative when you're looking at a guy who's actually the best defender at his position. When you're looking at Michael Jordan, who won Defensive Player of the Year, that's telling me he was the best defender at his position and the best defender in the league that year. When he's got multiple first team all defensive player or all defensive teams, that's telling you he's the best defender at his position at the very least. Right? So it's much better to be the best at off-roading or the best at highway driving than be the guy who can do both, but you ain't the best at either. Right? So that's my thought about the defensive skill. Right? And then the last thing I get on is that's it. That's what I wanted to say about that. Who just called me? I didn't open the phone lines up, but I will. I open it up for only 3 calls. Man. So the phone lines are open again. I take 3 calls this time, and they got to be quick calls. LeBron was versatile for maybe 4 to 6 years out of the 20-year career. Caller from Michigan.
Hello.
What's good? What's up?
Calling from Detroit.
What's up?
Talking about today's NBA.
Yeah, what's up? What's your thoughts?
I've been watching the game 35 plus years, bro. I watched it in the 80s, I watched it in the 90s, and I watch it now. The game now is really some trash. They just shooting a bunch of threes. They're not playing no defense. Guys got no mid-range game. No post. Big guys don't know how to play in the post with their back to the basket. It's really just specialized guys. You got a bunch of guys, not great shooters, but everybody's average 3-point shooters. They can't even the game of the stop and pop.
when guards used to come and shoot the ball from the free throw line, they said if you couldn't come down on a fast break and pull up from the free throw line and hit that consistently, that was called a layup back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
These guys can't even do that now.
No.
They all trying to do a runner in the lane, which nobody's consistent with that. Nobody has a short jumper. And the All-Star game is ridiculous. They might as well just shut that down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. And that's what football did with the Pro Bowl, man. It just got so bad, man. But that'd be horrible, man, for this era, for defense to die, for ratings to die, for the All-Star weekend to die, for the dunk contest to die, for the post game to die, for positions to die, for all those things to die in this era. Steph Curry, KD, LeBron James, Adam Silver, man, they got a lot. They got a lot to be responsible for with all of these things down on their watch, man. But I appreciate the call, man. I'm gonna move to the next one, man. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Let's get two more calls in really quick. I want to hurry up and get to this last topic, and then we out of here. Let's get two more phone calls. Yeah, all of those things died on their watch, man. Seriously, man. Defense died. All-Star game, post game, positions, mid-range game, off the ball game. All of those things died. And for what? For what, man? I hope they're satisfied. Phone number's on the line, man. Call in. Or we can move. Okay. All right, we'll move on then. Let me see this. LeBron peak. He won MVP, all NBA first team, all defense first team, second in defensive player of the year, won a chip, finals MVP, give me COVID season. Hey, that's great for LeBron. Hey, if only he could have done it his whole career, it would have been dope. You know, man. I know somebody who did it his whole career. Caller from Cali, what's up?
What's up, man? What's up? Hey, I got a little theory.
Okay.
So, if you notice, who was AD around? I'm sorry. Who was Ant-Man around in Paris? He was around LeBron James.
Of course.
Who hangs out with LeBron on the podcast and happens to be his coach? JJ Redick. So it seems like anybody who's around or close to the whole LeBron and clutch thing. See, LeBron is smart. He kind of throws the rock and hides his hand by having other people speak for him.
Mm-hmm.
So, Anthony Edwards, man, he may have been out there in Paris. You around LeBron and Curry and KD, dudes are legends. He may have been influenced a little bit, but with Anthony Edwards, man, I know he didn't grow up with his father. He needs a mentor type to kind of button him up a little bit, the way he dresses, the way he talks and carries himself. He's, a little bit loose lipped, but, I don't know, man. So it may be some clutch and LeBron influence in there. I know he used to be under clutch. He no longer is there, but, it's just all this is, people focusing on Anthony Edwards and JJ Redick and Kendrick Perkins, guys like this, but nobody's focusing on where's the source coming from. I believe it's coming from Rich Paul and LeBron, and I don't believe that jab at the 90s he wasn't trying to give MJ props. That was just another jab at MJ's competition.
Correct.
So really, he wasn't complimenting MJ. He was actually feeding into that, MJ is not as great as we think he is. Correct. Or as great as we've been told he is because he ain't played nobody.
Correct. Yeah.
So just a little theory, you know what I'm saying? We can't prove it, but I think a lot of this comes from LeBron and Clutch, man. So it's just the whole NBA is just becoming real toxic. Day by day, month by month, it's just getting real toxic. So hopefully there'll be some change, and hopefully Magic checking them, will kind of let other people see, like, okay, the OGs are going to start speaking up. Because when you got Magic is like that's NBA royalty. You know what I'm saying? He's not on Jordan's level, but he's up there. When Magic come out and say something against a current young player, now they let me know, like, okay, the young bucks got to chill out a little bit. So
Facts.
hopefully we'll see a change, man. All right, thanks for the call.
All right, no problem. Yeah, he right. Nino Jackson said, how much do you think the spread offense played a part in how hard it is to play defense in small ball? I mean, it played a factor, but it wouldn't have played much of a factor if we were still allowed to play defense. Because if I can put my hands on you, that spread offense is just like me playing one-on-one, right? If I'm playing you one-on-one and I can stop you playing one-on-one, I should be able to stop you in an NBA game. The only reason why I can't stop you in an NBA game because the rules say I can't out-muscle you if I'm bigger than you. I just have to let you cook me, and I have to try to play your game if you're a small, quick guy, and I'm a big, strong guy. I have to play your game and try to be small and quick with you, right? I can't use my advantage against you and see which one wins, right? So I don't think the spread offense would make that much of the difference if defense was if they turn the defensive sliders back up, because it's just like what you see in FIBA play. They run a spread offense out there in FIBA too, but that physicality kind of neutralizes it, right? So that's how that is. All right, let's move to this last topic, and it's WNBA stuff, y'all. So Angel Reese has been getting a lot of hell lately because the mainstream media and Caitlin Clark supporters and Caitlin Clark fans, they don't want any competition for her Rookie of the Year stuff, and they don't want, because Angel Reese is in their eyes some type of rival to Caitlin Clark since they had what they had going on in college. I guess liking Caitlin Clark means you have to dislike Angel Reese. So they taking that to the extreme, right? So anything that someone tries to give her credit for, they try to discredit her. So the records that she's got this year with her double doubles and her 3 consecutive games with 20 plus rebounds and all of those things, they throwing shade on it by saying it's not impressive to get double doubles, number one, and number two, all her rebounds are offensive rebounds off of her own misses. It's like she's padding her stats, like almost like she's missing shots on purpose so she can snag the rebound and pass that. So all of a sudden, for some reason, getting your own rebound is a bad thing, right? Which is funny. And they keep trying to act like that. Oh man, rebounding your own miss is cheating, and you wouldn't have all those rebounds if you wasn't missing those shots and rebounding your own misses, right? Well, that was debunked today by Rebecca Lobo. She had a team of statisticians go and figure out just how many offensive rebounds she has gotten off her own misses, and if you subtract those from all her rebounds, where would they place her? And this is what she found.
This is one of the greatest rebounding seasons we have seen in the history of this league. We've never had a player average 12 rebounds per game. Angel is close to 13 right now. So we've never had a player average 5.2 offensive rebounds per game. That is what she's doing night in and night out. She is relentless on the glass, and to be doing it as a 6'3" rookie has been remarkable. And some of her critics likes to say, well, she gets a lot of offensive rebounds off of her own misses. Well, our stats and information group looked that up. If you take away all of the offensive rebounds off her own misses, guess what, Zubin? She's still leading the league in offensive rebounds per game. She has been remarkable, historically remarkable on the glass. Yeah.
Wait, so you mean to tell me if you take away all her offensive rebounds that she has gotten off her own misses, she would still lead the league in offensive rebounds? And you mean to tell me this girl is averaging almost 13 rebounds and nobody has ever averaged 12 in the league, and she's averaging 12.9 as a rookie at 6'3", not 6'7" like Britne Griner, 6'3", right? It's impressive, right? It's impressive that you get rebounds. Rebounds are part of the game that counts as well. You know, you need that. I mean, we love Rodman for his rebounds. We love anybody who clean the glass, right? Especially when you battling down. I respect the rebound when you battle for it. You know, I don't respect the rebound that you just standing at the 3-point line and someone shoots a long three and it just falls in your hand outside the key and you didn't have to box out for it. But to see someone boxing out, battling, fighting, pushing, pulling, doing all those things down low, getting dirty, like these are the people that go in the locker room after the game. They got scratches all over them, bruises all over them. You know, these are the people who really need that ice bath. They're doing a lot of the dirty work. You got to respect that. Like even as a point guard, it's common courtesy. If your big man runs the floor real hard on a fast break, you might want to feed them the ball, right? If I clean the glass outlet pass and I run the lanes, first of all, it's a big body. You don't know what it feels like to be a big body. If you've always been a guard type guy and or girl and always been in decent shape, you don't know what it feels like for someone 6'5" or 6'6" or 6'9" to run the floor. You don't know them knees, them ankles, them feet. You don't know how that upper body feel to carry that weight. Like, look, when I really got heavy, you know, I had gained some weight and I was the heaviest I had ever been. And running the floor, I was like, man, I need to lose 10, 15 pounds, man, because this extra weight is too much, man. So you always got to reward someone that's doing that dirty work. If my big man ever ran the floor and he beat me up court, I've got to advance that ball up. And then Jason Kidd was really good at that. If you was on Jason Kidd's team, you just need to know if I run, he's going to find me. Kenya Martin running, Vince running, Richard Jefferson running. If I run, J Kidd is going to make sure I get the ball. And if you have a guy like Shaq run from goal post to goal post and pin his man on his back for early offense, and you don't throw that ball down low and give him an opportunity to make something happen, he's cussing you out. Same thing with Barkley. He's cussing you out, right? It's the same thing with people that's doing this dirty work for rebounds. Like, you don't have to get down there and do it. The fact that you got someone willing to go down there and get beat up and beat up people, you have to reward that person. You have to appreciate that person, not just her teammates and her point guard and her coach. The league has to appreciate that person the same way we appreciated Dennis Rodman. You have to appreciate that. So this smoke that everybody is giving her in the name of Caitlin Clark is old, man. Like, you know, I did some Caitlin Clark videos as well and talked about Caitlin Clark. It's cool, but at some point, once you start to realize it's toxic and it's just too much going to one player, like, you know, I would never beat up on a player too much except LeBron, because he deserved that jump. But like Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, they don't deserve to be beat up for every single thing they freaking do. Critique the game, yeah, but coming out lying and saying rebounding is not impressive. 20 rebounds is not impressive. A double-double streak of almost 20 games is not impressive. Just because you want to prop up Caitlin Clark, that's unacceptable, man. I mean, it's really unacceptable, right? So that's all I wanted to say about it, man. I ain't much to say. I just wanted to throw that out there that Angel Reese is doing good things, and that narrative is already dead of her rebounds being something that wasn't impressive. Who's calling from? Who's calling? What's your name?
What's going on, man? It's Rick from Philly.
What's up?
What's going on, man? Yeah, look, I think Anthony Edwards is not stupid, man. I know why he did that, man. I mean, I might be wrong, but I think I know why he did that. He made that stupid remark. It was very silly.
Why?
I think he's sold, man. He sold out. He sold his soul, man, for some money and fame, man. Because there's no way in hell that kid, if you saying that you watch Michael Jordan play, and you telling me that you didn't see no other skill. First of all, you claim you can watch Michael Jordan play. That means you watch everybody else he was playing against, and you hear people in the background cheering for, you know, whoever their best players are. And you've seen the skillful abilities that his opponents have. You know what I mean? So you can't tell me that you didn't see Scottie Pippen playing. You didn't see Kukoc, Steve Kerr, Dennis Rodman. You didn't see no skills. You didn't see no skill set on the bench, coming off the bench or in the starting lineup. You didn't see nobody. You didn't see no Scottie Pippen. Come on, man. You kid fraud, man. And the kid not stupid. He's not stupid, man.
Yeah.
21 years old. You know what I'm saying? He's a millionaire. You know what I mean? He got YouTube, he got internet, he got TV.
Bro, he might be stupid. You never know. I mean, like,
well, he just might, but I mean, just being realistic, man. We see these guys, man. They can sell their soul for fame and money, man. You know what I mean? And they can be bought, man. I seen what Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins and all these guys, they getting exposed, man. You know what I mean? They getting exposed on ESPN. They exposing each other. Stephen A. Smith already said it on live and said that, yo, these guys, you know, they offer Ken Perkins some whatever. They offer him that, you know, some whatever. I don't know if it's support or money or whatever to keep on the Clutch Sports and LeBron narrative and all that. You know what I mean? And Stephen A. Smith said they came at him too. LeBron and his posse came at him too. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean? He declined it. Like these guys being bought, man. Shannon Sharp already got bought. You know what I mean? Somebody asked them, like, yo, somebody, a former player told him, like, yo, I know what's going on. You got bought, man. And he over there laughing and all that. You know, and come on, man. They NBA players too. Like, he got that kid not stupid. He got bought, man. And you know what I mean? And I'm glad Magic Johnson and KG and all these guys starting to they need to speak out. You can't just sit in the back for too long, and because now the social media and then also the media outlets like ESPN and all these guys, Stephen A. Smith, they're gonna play around with these kids, and they're gonna help to push the narrative. The OGs got to come out and protect the truth. You know what I mean? Speak out the truth, because it's gonna keep going crazy. I mean,
yeah. No, you're right.
All right, man.
All right, man. Appreciate the call.
All right.
Yeah. All right, let's get calls on Angel Reese right now. Angel Reese, WNBA, Caitlin Clark. Let's get calls on this real quick. I seen some comments in there. Somebody said Angel Reese's game is ugly. I mean, who cares? I'm a big man, right? You know, I'm a rookie at that. I haven't polished my game on offense yet, but I'm giving you what I got. And for your game to be ugly, and you averaging 14 points a game, the pretty game in Caitlin Clark is giving you 17, almost 18. So I say 18 for Caitlin. That game is pretty, but Angel's giving you 13, 14, and that game is ugly. I'm fine with that. You play down low, you playing the post. Now, if you compare her post game to Asia Wilson's game is much more polished, not as ugly. I do, if I want to critique Angel Reese, I do think she don't get enough lift on any of her shots, on her layups, and I don't know if that's based on that car accident she had. She got a rod in her leg. You know, she runs a little bit gimpy. I don't know how much that rod in her leg is bothering her, but she don't get any lift off the floor. She don't jump when she does a layup. So whenever she is trying to score with a defender in front of her, she's always putting her shoulder into their body first and then throwing the shot up, but she's not jumping. It's almost like she can't jump. So she put her shoulder in there, you know, to kind of neutralize a shot blocker and put the shot up. And I want her to clean that up and fix that. You know, she needs something else. I think she needed a little fadeaway. She got to work on the jumper for sure. But I'm satisfied with her. Now, as far as rookies go, I love Raquel Jackson's offense in LA. Raquel Jackson's offense is it looks very polished. The jump shot is there. She puts the ball on the floor and handle it. She can score on the post. She can score on the perimeter. She can dribble. She plays good defense, all of that good stuff, man. So Rickea Jackson is a very polished basketball player in the WNBA. Way more polished than Angel Reese. You might even say she might be the most polished rookie in the league. But, you know, of course, she don't have the responsibility of a Caitlin Clark for her team. She's not the point guard. She don't have the ball. She's not responsible for 75% of the offense as far as distribution. And then also having that green light. So it's going to look like Caitlin has, you know, a more polished game because she got more freedom. And Rickea Jackson is playing more inside of a phone booth, like in a system. But if you look really closely, man, Rickea, she might be the most polished rookie, man, for real. And if they would have been starting her right away and going to her for offense right away, she might be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. But she got such a late start, and she really didn't get going until kind of like Cameron Brink went down, and they ain't had no choice but to really go to her. She got it going after that, and it was like up and down. But now the last 5 games, it's been all up, and she's I think her lowest game is probably like 13 points, but her highest game is 20 plus, right? So she's doing her thing. I like Rickea. So those are my top 3. I got Caitlin number 1 for rookie of the year right now, and that's because her team is winning, and Angel Reese's team is losing, right? So the fact that looks like the Indiana Fever is going to have a better seeding in the playoffs, and Chicago, even if they make the playoffs, they're going to be below Indiana Fever with a worse record. I gotta give that tiebreaker to Caitlin Clark, but it's closer than you think it is. You know, without factoring in the team record, and you just look at the fact that Caitlin Clark is a leader on her offense, and she is responsible for points and assists and running the offense. She's the leader of her offense. But Angel Reese is the leader of her defense. Angel Reese is a very good defender and a leader of her defense, right? So one's the leader of the offense, one's the leader of the defense. But when you look at what Caitlin Clark does on the defensive end, it's not much, or it's not equal to what what Angel Reese is responsible for on the offensive end. So one is offense, one is defense. But what the other do for the other side of the court, I think Caitlin does less defense than Angel does offense. So it kind of offsets. They both are breaking records. You know, of course, the popularity is going on Caitlin's side and all that stuff, but I got them neck and neck for Rookie of the Year, and the tiebreaker is the fact that Caitlin Clark's team is winning more ball games. Caller from Alabama, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
I'm good.
Yeah, man. I was at the Indiana Fever game tonight. I went over to Atlanta to watch it. But I want to say Caitlin does play defense, man. She's a hell of a shot blocker, as a matter of fact, man. She leads the whole WNBA as far as guards for block shot. You know, steals, she's good too. I think you're right on Reese. I see so much potential in Reese. It's just some fundamental things, man. She just got to tighten up on. Mulkey just really let that girl down, because the talent is there, but it's like her court awareness isn't all the way there, and just finishing.
What does finishing got to do with her court awareness? Like she's a big.
It's not just
what's wrong with her court awareness?
As far as court awareness, okay, I was speaking about something different, but if you want to go to court awareness, I'll go to that. If you get multiple offensive rebounds and you're not looking for your teammates, you're not even faking like you're looking for your teammates. You're not even, you know, how you score inside. Luka Doncic does a good job. He can't jump. He doesn't have that explosion, but he uses space. You know, he uses his teammate. He uses the environment to help him score. You know, Angel, it's like if they call 3 seconds, her career is over. But she's got so much potential I would just like her to.
I disagree. If my big man get a rebound in the paint, I have no issues with what Angel Reese is doing. She's trying to put the ball back in. Now,
Right, but it's not always that way.
What's going on in the WNBA is the same thing as going on with Aja Wilson. Did you see the Aces game against Chicago?
The game.
Hold on.
Quite a game. Yeah.
Right. Did you see the field goal?
Well, you asked me a question, brother. I'm just answering.
Did you see the field goal percentage for Aja Wilson against?
Yes, she was 8 for. I believe she missed 20 shots.
She was 8 for 28. Right.
She made 8.
Do you know why she was 8 for 28?
Because Cardoso
not just Cardoso.
Yeah.
Hold on. Did you say Aja Wilson in the gold medal game in the Olympics?
I saw it.
Okay, so this is what's going on with international play and the WNBA. Is what we was talking about in the segments before this. The physicality that they allow for women's basketball and in the WNBA is a whole lot more physicality that they allow in the NBA. So when a big girl or a big man gets the ball in the paint, they're going to let you get mauled. And Aja Wilson is complaining about it. All the girls are complaining about it, but that's what they allow in the WNBA. So field goal percentages in the paint are going to be low.
Okay,
right?
It's
going to be low. So Angel Reese getting the ball down low. Hold on. I'm going in. So when Angel Reese gets the ball down low, she's dealing with a lot of physicality, right? If you put Caitlin Clark down low and say rebound down there and go back up with the shot, her field goal percentage is going to be low, but it's still even lower than Angel Reese's is now, right? So that's point number one. Point number two is that if we're critiquing games of the rookies, we have a Caitlin Clark who's averaging about 6 turnovers a game. Are you aware that Caitlin Clark is averaging 6 turnovers a game? Are you aware of that?
Yes, I am.
What's the number one priority of a point guard?
The number one priority?
The number one priority.
To win.
That's a lie and a half. The number one priority of a point. Stop it. The number one.
Hold on.
The number one priority of a point guard. The number one priority of a point guard is for what? If you're over talking me and I'm running the program, you're disrespecting me.
You asked me a question.
Right. So I'm asking you a question. Well, don't be facetious. We already know the objective of basketball is to win, but that's not what I'm talking about. Yes, what is the primary what is the primary job? Not talking about winning. What is the primary job of a point guard?
It's to run the offense.
No, that's not the primary job. What's the primary job? To take care of the basketball. That's the primary job. Caitlin Clark.
I don't even know about that.
Caitlin Clark. No, you can't say this. I'm talking.
Hold on. So what?
Sir, I'm gonna bid you a good. Sir, if you're talking over me, I'm going to bid you a good night. I'm going to bid you a good night.
Okay, because you can't handle a real conversation.
No, it's not a real conversation if I'm talking and you're talking over me.
Conversation with you.
So here's the deal: the primary objective of a point guard is to handle and take care of the ball and then run the offense. You can't run the offense if you can't take care of the ball. If you're getting stripped at half court, if you can't handle the physicality, dribbling the ball and handling the pressure 94 feet and you're losing the ball, if you're passing the ball and you're turning the ball over, if you're traveling, if you're throwing the ball away, that's horrible. 6 turnovers a game for a point guard. That's not good, right? On top of that, you can't say that this is just because she's a rookie and she's having growing pains, because she averaged 5 turnovers her freshman year at Iowa, 5 turnovers her sophomore year at Iowa, 5 turnovers her junior year at Iowa, and 5 turnovers her senior year at Iowa. Now she's averaging 6 turnovers in the WNBA, which that's down because she was averaging almost 8 turnovers before she calmed down. So she's not taking care of the ball. And you want to come over here and you want to talk about Angel Reese getting fouled in the paint and whatever you want to say about her game in the paint. Dude, that's what happens in the paint. You're getting beat up in the paint. I have no issues with what Angel Reese does in the paint What I said about her post game not being polished yet, I'm cool with that. But turnovers for a point guard, I'm not cool with. Then on top of that, you came in here and said that Caitlin Clark actually plays defense. Bruh, Angel Reese is Mrs. Defense. That's one of her strong suits, on top of the fact that she rebounds very well. She plays defense way better than any other rookie in the league right now, and way better than a lot of the vets in the league right now. So don't come in here and try to give kudos to Clark for defense and then down Angel Reese's defense. Don't come in here and tell straight up just falsehoods. Now, what are you gonna say about those turnovers?
No, I said it's not good to turn the ball over.
All right, thank you. All right, that's all I wanted to say.
So what are you saying?
I said everything I wanted to say.
I don't disagree with you.
I said everything I wanted to say.
No. I'm just saying that Angel can shoot a higher percentage, and that'll help.
And Caitlin cannot turn the ball over, and that'll help her become a better player.
I think she had 2 tonight.
She had 2.
I believe so. I mean, I was at the game. I could be wrong.
Well, that'll help her average go down by 0.1 probably.
Well, you know what, man? I believe she also had 19 assists in one game, and I believe she also has broken the all-time WNBA assist record for rookies.
Yeah, and Angel Reese has broken the record for rebounds.
Oh, the 2020 was serious business. Yeah, she got 3 games in a row with 20 rebounds. She's outstanding. I mean, I enjoyed watching the game, and I think Kennedy Carter doesn't get enough attention either.
Of course not.
I mean, I enjoy watching the Skyscrapers. I enjoy watching Chicago. I mean, I'm a fan of Angel Reese. I just think she can be better. You know what I'm saying? I'm not putting the girl down.
They all can be better, but for you to come in here
what
and say,
did I say that was so bad about Angel?
No, I'm saying it was bad. It was inaccurate. What did
I say about her that was inaccurate?
For you to come in here and say, Caitlin plays defense and then start trying to down.
I said she leads the league in shot blocking for guards. She's got more blocks than Angel.
Dude, but you're ignoring the fact that this girl gets cooked on defense. She gets cooked. Like, she absolutely gets cooked. Are you denying that?
Okay, who cooked? I'm saying, okay, go ahead. Who? Now,
She misses assignments. She gets caught looking at the ball and gets caught on a lot of back doors. She can't move her feet fast enough to guard the ball. Like, she's not a good defender, bro. She's not. But being a 6 foot point guard, being a 6 foot point guard with long arms,
Would you say her skills, her shot blocking is not an attribute on defense?
I seen her block some shots. I like her. I like her
she
block.
averages about six rebounds a game. All of them are defensive. She only got 11. She only got 11 offensive rebounds.
Is she battling people like Audrey? Is she battling people like Audrey Wilson down low for those rebounds?
I mean, she's a guard.
Yes or no, sir?
If it's a switch situation,
sir. Yes or no? Is she?
I mean, she's a guard.
Is she boxing? Listen. I want you to say yes or no. Is she boxing out?
No, she's a guard.
No. Hold on. I need to get the question out. This is for the audience. This is for the audience. Is she boxing out people like Angel Reese, Audrey Wilson?
Primarily, no. She's on the perimeter. Sir, she's a guard.
Let me finish the question. Is she boxing out Angel Reese, Audrey Wilson, Britne Griner, and people like that down low for her rebounds?
I haven't seen her box out Britne Griner.
All right, so are you impressed by those rebounds?
Rebounds?
What's more impressive? Boxing out for a rebound or a rebound just falling in your hand?
I mean, as far as
sir, what's more impressive? Boxing out and fighting for a rebound or a rebound falling in your hand?
I like the game. I like boxing.
Sir,
out.
what's more
like,
impressive? What's more
uh,
impressive? Boxing out and fighting for a rebound or a rebound falling in your hand? Hey, Bobby Digital, you blocked.
Oh wow! What did he do?
Goodbye.
What was he doing?
He know what he did, sir.
Hey man, let me tell you something. Can I give you some props on your program?
Yeah, go ahead.
I know you're trying to argue with me, man, but listen, man, I've enjoyed it. all the way. I'm back in Montgomery now, man. I went down to Atlanta, and I enjoy hearing good basketball talk, man. I'm old school, man. I've been watching this shit since Magic did the shit against Jordan in '91. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love ball talk, man. But yeah, I feel what you're saying. Listen, I played inside. I played forward, so I love a rebound. I love a good block out. I love a good screen. I mean, I love it. Listen, if you notice, I was telling my girlfriend this, Asia looked like she was disgusted with the game winner. I ain't never seen nobody look like that after they won a game. Because Cardosa and Angel gave her the blues. You know, Cardosa had 5 blocks, Angel like a little jackrabbit. She was tired. You know, she was exhausted. I've never seen Asia play that bad before. And part of that is Cardosa and Breeze. So I'm giving her props. You know what I'm saying? I just think she can get better. I just hate that it's like you can't say nothing about a player. I want to give her the same respect like I give a male player. You know what I'm saying? I think she could be better. That's all.
Yeah, but I had already said all that.
No, you said she wasn't polished. I think there's some fundamental.
That's the same. That's the same. That's the same thing.
Well, we just have a
That's the same
disagreement
thing.
in that I think there's some fundamental things that she can't do that she ought to be able to do. And like you said, maybe it's because of the rod. She doesn't have that explosion. I also think, you know, I think she's a southpaw, and for some reason, you know, when she goes to that offhand, when she goes to that right hand, I think this. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. She needs to do the mic and drill as soon as this season is over. You know, mic and drill, mic and drill, mic and drill. You know, of course, work on an explosion. I think, and you're going to really criticize me for this, man, but I think that she got to get rid of those. I think there's some vision stuff going on, too.
Lord have mercy.
And those, I know you about to kill me, man, but those
No, I'm
eyelashes,
not.
man.
No, I'm not.
You know what I'm saying? Because I talked to my girl about this. Will sound ridiculous, but she was saying that they're so big, she's trying to lock into the rim, and it's like I think it's affected. I think it's causing her to get her shot blocked too, because she's had her shot blocked more than any other, you know, big in the WNBA.
And you think she getting her shot blocked because of the
I think it's distracting.
because of the lash. You think the lashes is getting her shot blocked?
I think it's distracting.
The
and
lashes.
I think there's a hitch. There's
Right.
also a hitch.
The lashes is getting her shot blocked. You know what? Maybe the lashes is actually blocking the shots. You think the lashes actually blocking the shot? Maybe
No, sir.
maybe.
I think you know what I'm saying.
Hey, what about the hair? What about the hair?
What
What about the weave, man?
That's
You wanted to take the weave out too?
I want her.
Well, hold on. You know what? Let's go. Let's do a full. No. Let's do a full. Let's do a full critique on Asia.
Hold on.
Let's do a full critique.
I'm just gonna hang up because you seem like you.
No. I want to do a full critique on
I'm
Angel.
just-
So
I'm
the
trying to
lashes,
vibe with you and have a good
the lashes need to come out, right? What about?
I think they don't need to be as long so she can have vision.
Got it. What about the weave? What about the weave?
That's fine.
The weave is fine. What about
That's fine.
lipstick?
Well, look, man, it sounds like you're really trying to be
I hear.
disrespectful.
I'm asking clarifying questions, man. I'm trying to figure it out. This man said, he said the eyelashes was blocking the shots, man. No, the eyelashes is blocking the shots for real. One more phone call, then we get into it, y'all. The eyelashes is blocking the shots. Sheesh. That's tough, man. That's tough. That man was protecting the turnovers, man. Protecting the turnovers. All right, it look like we ain't getting no more phone calls, y'all. All right, man. I appreciate everybody for we got one more. Michigan. Caller from Michigan. What's up?
What's up, man? It's your boy World Breaker, man. Your favorite, man. What's up with you?
What's good, man? What's your thoughts? Hey, you think
Not
you
much,
think the eyelashes blocking Angel Reese shots, man?
I don't know.
All right, what's up, man? You had a lot to say in the comment section, man. Let's
What's up, man?
Let's go ahead and go.
Well, fortunately for you, I didn't call the cookie today, man.
All right.
I just want to address what I'm hearing in the comments. And I
Okay.
think the first caller might have mentioned it. You guys keep talking about the TV ratings and nobody's watching. The TV ratings are bad. I think people don't really understand how the TV ratings work, and it's really an outdated system. Because that rating system came out in 1954.
Uh-huh.
And the way we consume content today is not the same way it was consumed in 1954.
Correct.
They're not taking into account streaming services because, honestly, people my age, we're not watching these games on cable TV. Let's be real.
Right.
Okay? And if nobody's watching the NBA, why did Amazon, NBC just signed a $100 billion streaming right deal? You know, like let's just have some common sense, people.
I think two things can be true. Now, from when I seen Adam Silver do his interviews, he talked about what you're talking about. He talked about how, the streaming and all of that stuff is sometimes not an accounting for some of the views they get, and also the overseas people that's tuning in, that's not getting logged as well. But he also talked about with the new TV deal, this was before they announced it as official, but he was talking about it like it was like a possibility, so he couldn't really say. But he was talking about how streaming was part of what the negotiation was all about. Like, are we going to be able to tap into all of this stuff? And I think that's why Amazon and who else was it? Prime.
Yeah, it was NBC. And of course, like ABC, they still got their rights, but they ain't put much money down as Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon. Yeah. So that's all about streaming, and you seen a little piece of that with how they covered the Olympics on Peacock, right? So,
right.
I think
Exactly.
I think that moving forward, I think streaming is going to be a big part of it, and I think they'll be able to capture and kind of like step out of the 1950s with that.
Right.
Yeah. So I
think
they got a
It
plan.
just don't matter no more.
They got a plan though. But so that part is true as well. But like I said, two things can be true. It's also true that less people are watching. Like, did you enjoy the All-Star game this year?
You said I enjoyed the All-Star game this year. I didn't get to catch it. So
Yeah,
I watched
of course
the
you
replay.
did. But you seen but you seen the last one Kobe played in, didn't you?
Which one? Oh, you talking about his last one? Yeah, I seen it.
You seen that one, right?
But that's just me, though. I
seen the last one Jordan played in, right?
No, that's before my time.
Oh,
Was
that's
that
what you
03?
you that young?
Yeah, I wouldn't remember that one if I did. Yeah.
Sheesh. Yeah, that was the best All-Star games I done witnessed with my own eyes. Is the one where Kobe was going head to head, and the guys on the East, they was going shot for shot with the last 2 minutes, and it was Kobe against Iverson and Marbury.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I did see that one. That was 2001, 2000.
But it might have been that one was really good, and then Jordan's when he hit the game winner, and then Kobe came down and ruined his game winner by getting fouled on a 3-point shot. So that one was good as well. Those two are good, and then the one I just seen from the WNBA. Those are my top three, right?
Yeah.
None of this junk I've been seeing under Adam Silver is good.
Okay, so yeah, not just
so my point my point is this: less people are watching.
That's cap.
Okay.
If less people are watching, they wouldn't spend $100 billion, man. Let's be real.
Yeah, but so you got to think about everything else is involved in it, right? So when did we just make gambling legal on sports? 2 years ago, last year. So we got Vegas involved in this thing now. You know how much money Vegas probably bringing in, right? And let me ask you this: everybody know that Vegas, the house always wins, right? Like you go to Vegas and gamble, you might win a couple, but you ain't gonna go home with a buttload of money. Like they go get their money back from you. Vegas is supposed to rent. Like we're going down there to spend money at Vegas, knowing Vegas is rigged, never to lose. You agree with that, right?
What you trying to say like Vegas?
Vegas is not in the business of losing money, correct?
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, right. So explain to me how Vegas gets involved in sports betting with the NBA if they can lose money. So think about all the things you can bet on in the NBA and how Vegas can make money off of it.
Oh,
Vegas would not do a deal with the NBA if they didn't know that they could make sure that they win. So that means that the NBA is admitting to us that they're rigged. So when you get all these other people involved in it, it's so much money. Like, listen, we got this thing tied up both ways. We're going to make money. We're selling entertainment. We're selling Harlem Globetrotter stuff. We're going to make sure we make our money. NBC is fine with it. Yeah, they go get their money back, bro.
Lamel, let's think for a second. How many bets? People have control over their own bets, right? Most people lose those bets, Mel. You don't realize that, right?
That means Vegas is winning.
Vegas isn't forcing people to pick this person over that person.
Yeah, but that means Vegas is always winning.
Right, but it's. I feel like you're trying to say like they be fixing stuff. That's what I feel like.
No, they are fixing stuff. And that's why these networks don't have a problem with spending all that money, because they got it down to a science. Hey, look, the Lakers generate this much money, this team generate this much money, blah 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 blah. So they know what teams need to succeed, what players need to succeed. They already figured out, what projections they're going to make annually, and they just make it happen, right? You think everybody from whatever country Luka is in ain't watching when he goes to the finals? They watch. They watch every series. They gotta play the game, but all you gotta do with the referees is put one team going uphill and one team going downhill, and you can get the results you want.
Mel, I got a question. If you believe in all this stuff, why do you watch it then? If it's rigged, because basically anybody who wins, they didn't really win. We could just say everybody only won because Vegas wanted them to win. Do you think that's good for the sport?
I'm not saying every game and every series is fixed. Like when I watch a game and I see that, oh man, yep, the refs are taking over, and I come on my podcast and talk about it. But sometimes I watch the game and they get out of the way and let what happened happen. They don't always fix it. You get what I'm saying? They don't always fix it. Like when I'm just saying. Hey, look, when you lie to your girl and say you're going out with your homeboys, do you always cheat, or do sometimes you just actually go out with your homeboys so you can make it look good? Like, hey, I'm gonna go out with y'all 4 weekends in a row, come back at 12, like no problem. But that fifth one, I'm sliding in some draws. You can't do it. You can't do it every single time, bro. You gotta make it look good.
Yeah, but I'll just say it's just easy for anybody who don't get the result they want to say, "Oh, it's rigged." You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm not one of those people.
It's really no purpose.
I watched it. I watched the game, and I can tell you when the referees are influencing it, and when they're not. And sometimes I can tell you before the game even start what I think the NBA is going to do.
Yeah, but that's really just kind of your opinion, though. You know?
No, it's not. It's not an opinion. Like they can't hide it all the time. Like, let me ask you this: do you think Luka Doncic is a good defender?
For what they're asking him to do?
No. Yes and no. Is Luka Doncic a good defender?
For what they're asking him to do, yes.
No, brother.
It's not like
no, brother. Is he a good defender or not? Okay, you going into a game plan. You got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and you got the Dallas Mavericks. Who you want to guard Shai?
Not Luka.
Okay, why?
because he's not the best defender on his team.
And he's not a good defender either, right? So let me ask you this. For a guy that can't defend to get in the playoff series where they're hunting him down to force him to defend, and this dude played 3 straight games and didn't have not one foul in the playoffs, how do you think that happens?
Well, if you're saying that he don't play defense, it makes sense to me that he's not getting these foul calls on him.
They're forcing him to play defense, though. They're putting him in all the screen and roll actions and saying, you're going to guard. I'm going to screen until you get on Shea, and then I'm taking you one-on-one.
No, that wasn't always true. That didn't always happen.
All right. You know what? I can't with you, man. I'm trying to lead you to water, man, but you don't want to drink. You don't want to drink. Anything else, sir?
No, I just wanted to talk to you. As long as we agree that the TV ratings aren't what people think it is, or like they really don't matter. I'm with you on that. It's some things they can't they can't measure certain things that
some things they can't measure, but at the same time we know that the if they was using the same metrics and the same data points in the 90s that they're using now, we do know that the 90s ratings were better, right?
Well, we don't know that. That's just a hypothetical.
No. Like
you'd be making your argument.
No. You can Google right now. Google the highest rated NBA finals, and I think the Michael Jordan's last finals against Utah, we still haven't had a finals rated higher than that after that.
Yeah, but you also got to
No. I want you to marinate on that. The 98 Bulls versus Utah Jazz was rated higher as far as ratings than anything that came after that as far as the finals. So it doesn't matter if you're saying that some things can't be accounted for with how they calculate ratings. They both was using the same calculations for those ratings, and 98 was rated higher.
You just said you agreed with me on the TV ratings, man. Now you
I said 2 things could be true.
When it comes to Michael Jordan, like, come on. Now.
I said 2 things could be true.
But anyways, I was wanted to add to that. You guys got to remember, back in the day, the NBA also didn't have as much competition for consumers and viewers like they do today. There's way much more TV, way much more sports, way much more channels to watch certain stuff.
You think a basketball lover is go turn to watch Seinfeld instead of the NBA finals?
You know how popular of a show Seinfeld is?
That's why I asked. You think a basketball lover is going to turn from the NBA finals to watch Seinfeld? Yes or no?
A basketball lover, no.
Thank you. So it doesn't matter.
No, but I'm just saying there's other people, not just basketball lovers, that watch TV, Mel.
Well, we don't want the other people that y'all. We could do without y'all. We just want the basketball lovers to watch. That'll make the environment less. That'll make the. No, you're a LeBron lover. That'll make the environment less toxic. Very less toxic.
You know what also make it less toxic?
What's that?
If people would help just push the game forward and not sending us back 30 years. Don't you agree?
like saying the 90s didn't have no skill players. You think that's pushing the game forward?
No, I don't think it's pushing the game forward when people keep talking about Michael Jordan and he ain't played in 20 years.
You want to know why I know this era is the worst era of basketball and it's not better than the 90s? Because I haven't met a son yet in this era that's better than his daddy or his granddad. They're actually worse. I haven't met a son in this era better than his dad or his granddad.
Come on, MJ.
No, I haven't met just a random guy. I can go close my eyes and walk in the mall and grab one random 25-year-old. And then if I go and find his dad and his granddad, I guarantee you his dad and granddad are better men than him. I guarantee they both can plant a garden. I guarantee they both can change tires, fix cars, change parts, paint houses. They can do all those things, but I guarantee you that son can't do none of them.
What does that got to do with basketball for you?
It's the same thing. Everything's depreciating. Everything is deteriorating.
Y'all not appreciating what's here right now is the problem.
It ain't nothing to appreciate. It's getting worse. It's degrading.
And you just proved my point with that
It's
statement right there.
degrading. Can you plant a garden?
Yeah, I can plant. Well, not a full garden. I could plant a few things.
What? You got cucumbers in your yard? What you got in your yard? You got tomatoes?
No, I live in an apartment. I don't got no.
You live in an apartment.
Garden.
Yeah. I bet your daddy didn't live in no apartment.
He did. I'm only 25.
See? Hey man, you ain't better than your daddy, World Breaker. I guarantee you.
I'm looking out. But yeah.
I'm just messing with you, man.
Yeah, I was like, you confused the hell out of me. But all right, but I ain't gonna keep you on because I know you want to go to bed. I had to call into it. I know.
All right, man. I appreciate the call, man, for sure, man. Hey, man. Hey. Your calls don't be as potent as your comments in the comment section, man. You be out there trolling in the comment section, and you come on and it'd be a pleasant conversation, man. It'd be funny.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you for taking my call, man.
Man, no doubt, man. I'll catch you on the next one.
All right.
All right, man. I'm out of here, y'all, man. Thank y'all for joining the stream, man, and sticking with me all the way to the end. If we ain't getting no more phone calls, I'm out, man. Mel done confused the key. Hey, Mike. Mike, what you expect me to do? He wouldn't answer none of my questions, man. Like I couldn't get a straight answer out of him. I asked him a yes or no question, and then he goes somewhere else with it. So all right, I'll play your game. Yep. All right, but hey, man, like I said, man, thank y'all for tuning in, man. I'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.